Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Outs here Sunday morning, and the Raptors are playing an early game against the Houston Rockets. 2 p.m. Eastern tip-off start in Houston against the Rockets, who are not going to have Fred today. But yeah, we're going to do all the regular stuff, the latest lineup news, the ref report, the classic card, the Instagram stories, all the stuff we do on the Raptor Freak channel. Over 1,200 streams and going. Let's keep going on that streak. That's right. So let me get right to it, guys. You know how it works. I'm going to do the rundown first, and then I'll get to your comments in just a sec. So, yeah. First of all, on the Raptors side of things with the injury report, Brandon Ingram is out today for Sunday's game. There was a false report that came out yesterday that said he's going to be out at least a month. That was bullshit. That is just a meme thing. That is as reliable as that Dennis Schroeder was waived. Just for the person that posted that in our chat. There's no validity to that comment. That is a speculative comment, and there's nobody who said that Brandon Ingram was going to be out for at least a month. That's bullshit. So I just want to say that if you guys have seen a meme circulating right now that's saying Brandon Ingram will be out for a month, that is a bullshit meme. That is, it doesn't make any sense because that's not for sure in any kind of way. That's just somebody making some shit up and putting it out there, and it's not real information, just so y'all know, because nobody that officially talks about the Raptors and stuff has said what that comment said. So don't believe that bullshit. There's so much more bullshit out there than normal right now. This is one of the most untruthful moments in history. There's so much bullshit out there right now from all areas of life, and it's affecting basketball in the NBA, just so y'all know. Whether it's the Kyle Anderson during our game the other night, whether it's Dennis Schroeder got waived by Detroit, whether it's Brandon Ingram's going to be out for a month, that is a bullshit rumor. That is not exactly true. Yeah, I don't think it'll be as long as a month, but it could be. I don't know. It could be longer than a month. But there's been no set timetable. That's what I'm trying to say to this, is that person saying, oh, he's going to be out a month, he doesn't know. I speculated that he could be back by after the All-Star break because we're like that. And that could be true too. And that's not a month. That could be like in the next 2 weeks. So I'm just saying, don't believe any bullshit about the timetable for Brandon. There's been no official word or any kind of decision with him about a target time for him to come back. So if you see anybody putting out bullshit, reject it as bullshit. And that was bullshit that came into our chat yesterday, just so y'all know. Jakob Poeltl is out today, ruled out because of his hip pointer. That'll make things real hard with the big center Sengun. RJ Barrett is still on concussion protocol. He could very well play. That's the crazy thing. RJ could feel good by now, but they have to take the safety precautions in the program of concussion protocol. So RJ will miss another game today. It could very well be we don't see RJ until after the All-Star break, just to be completely safe and sure. So that's it. I don't even know why they put PJ Tucker on our injury list. I know he's officially acquired by us, but as Bobby said, he's going to try and find him a home somewhere or something like that. I don't know. Either way, PJ's not going to play for us, so he doesn't need to be on our injury list. Seriously. So who are we going to start today? Probably. I would say it's going to be Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, Scotty Barnes, and Jonathan Mobo. I don't like this starting lineup because it's not a regular one and it's missing 3 of the starters. And I don't like it because it's not a true center. And we're going up against one of the best young gifted centers in the league right now, Alperen Sengun. So I don't like starting Jonathan, but I know it probably will start Jonathan tonight. Although, who knows? Maybe he'll start Robinson. I don't know. The center position's the big question mark when it comes to the Raptors right now with Poeltl on the shelf. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there with all of that. On the other side of things, the Rockets do have injuries, and namely our guy Fred. Fred has been hurt for a while now. He's been hurt for a few weeks. And while he's been hurt, they have lost every game while he's been out, guys. The Rockets are currently on a 6-game losing streak, which includes 2 different losses. Both their games against the Nets this year were on this losing streak, and they lost both the games to the Nets. So I'm telling you, this is crazy. We saw the Rockets before Christmas with Fred in Toronto, and they kicked our ass. But this is one of those weird times in the year
where you're catching a team on a downswing and you have a chance to beat a team that you wouldn't normally because they're very good and had a good record all season. So Houston is on a low right now, guys. It could very well be that we're going to give them that pick me up by losing to them today because we're overmatched with size and talent, like not talent, but experience, because of people like Dylan Brooks and more experience in some ways than us because we're so young right now. But who knows? This is actually a game that I think the Raptors could pull off winning if Darko has an ingenious plan of attack for how he wants to try and win this game, and we utilize our rotation in certain ways to beat them. Because honestly, if the Nets can beat them twice and this losing streak they're on currently right now, we can beat them too. We know how good the Nets are. We've seen the Nets multiple times this year, and we've beaten the Nets. And I'm just saying, if the Nets can beat the Rockets in both their games and sweep them during this losing streak that the Rockets are on right now, we can do it too. So I hope we can beat them today. It'd be awesome. It'd be a super Sunday if it was like that. Of course, the game's earlier because of the Super Bowl. We're going to be tipping off at 2 p.m. our time, which in Houston is like noon. This is like a noon game today, guys. And this is actually in our favor because the Rockets played the new Dallas Mavericks yesterday and got beat. And that game was not it was in the afternoon. So they're not getting even 24 hours between games on this one because I think they played at 3 yesterday, 3 or 5 in the afternoon, and they're playing at noon today. So I'm just saying the Rockets are coming in on a back-to-back with a less than a day off, time off, with a very, very short window to recoup and come around and come back. So, yeah, Fred VanVleet, as characterized by Coach Ime Udoka, is not day-to-day. He's week-to-week. And we've heard this about Fred in the past when he was on our team. It makes me think of the time when he hurt his knee in New Orleans and he was hurt for the rest of the season on and off. It wasn't like he was a day-to-day person. Like, oh, he might be ready in day-to-day. No, he's week-to-week right now, guys. That's what Ime Udoka is saying about Fred's right ankle sprain that he's got right now. We will not see number 23 for the Raptors before suit up against us today. And that's a key thing, man. They've been starting Thompson instead of him, Amen Thompson, and it's working pretty good. But the problem is they don't have the treasure map to win, and they're not lining up to winning. They can play all out and do stuff that the Rockets do, but without Freddie leading them to victory, they're losing right now. And, well, we got to capitalize on that. We got to make sure that we can beat them too in this situation. Jabari Smith is out today due to a fractured left hand. He's not going to have surgery on it, though, is what we're hearing. He's going to let it heal. But, yeah, he's out, Jabari Smith. And Cody Zeller is out also right now for the Rockets. As I said, they've lost 6 in a row. Who's playing for the Rockets then? Well, instead of Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson has been elevated to the starting lineup with Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and Alperen Sengun. And also they start like Cam Whitmore or Tari Eason. It depends on which game. But Thompson's running the point, who's their starting small forward when Fred's healthy. He's running the point now. So they're an interesting team. They've got some good size. Considering Fred's out, they can play Thompson at point guard, and that makes them a big team overall. Of course, Dylan Brooks, a centerpiece on this team. We love our villain Dylan. Jalen Green, almost a Harlem Globetrotter, that kind of player is what I call that. Showy, a lot of sizzle, not necessarily steak. Let's see. So who's on their team right now? They've also got off the bench Cam Whitmore, Jayshawn Tate, Tari Eason, Steven Adams, the big Neanderthal center, Reed Shepard, Jock Landell, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, the veteran Jeff Green, and Nefali Dante. That's kind of who's on their depth chart right now. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, they've lost 6 games in a row. They have not won since the end of January on the 28th against Atlanta, and they've lost to Memphis, 2 games to Brooklyn, the Knicks, the Timberwolves, and yesterday against the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. in that game, the debut of Anthony Davis, who came out and kicked butt apparently, but also managed to get hurt in his first game with them, which is pretty apropos for Davis in some ways. Let's see what they're giving us for a percentage chance on this Super Bowl Sunday against the Rockets. ESPN says that the Rockets have an 80% chance of winning today, and we have a 20% chance of winning today. So there's your splits for the ESPN matchup predictor for a game. 80% Rockets, 20% Raptors. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So, yeah, no Freddie. I'm sad about that. But having no Fred is a big key. And this is when the Rockets fans need to understand how important Fred VanVleet is and start respecting him, just like with Raptors Nation before. When Freddie's missing, your team does worse. And that's just the damn truth. That's evidence right now with the Rockets in the last couple weeks. All right, let's go do our ref report. We're getting a referee we have not seen this year yet, and a couple we have seen, and we're undefeated under this season so far. So let's start with the crew chief, Courtney Kirkland. It'll be our first time having Courtney as a referee this season. Number 61 out of Flint, Michigan, 25th season. He likes the show Billions. His favorite movie is The Matrix, and his favorite book is The Total Money Makeover. His favorite app is NBA. Yeah, Courtney Kirkland don't have a lot on his fun facts. He doesn't have a lot of likes, just a TV show, a movie, a book, and an app. Nothing else on there. Yeah. Let's see. Courtney Kirkland's officiating experience includes 2 seasons in the WNBA and 3 seasons in the Continental Basketball Association. Okay, yeah, he's old. He refereed in the CBA, working the finals in both leagues. He was a high school official for 4 years in Louisiana also. There you go. Yeah, Courtney Kirkland helps train and develop referees through the Manage the Grays officiating camp. He enjoys playing golf, exercising, and reading. Yeah, we haven't seen Courtney yet this year. This is the first time we'll see Courtney. He's the worst ref today for the Raptors. We win 42% of our games historically, which is not that good, honestly, guys. And then the Rockets are his favorite. Are they his highest team? I think. Are the Rockets his highest team? I think they are. Let me look at this again. Or is it Corbin? Oh, no, it's the Rockets win 55% of their games. So Courtney is 42-55 for the Rockets. The crew chief today, Courtney Kirkland. So 42-55. The second ref is a ref we've had twice this year and won both games. And it's Sean Corbin, number 33 in his 30th season out of Baltimore, Maryland. He likes the TV show Perry Mason. He likes the Godfather movies. His favorite musician is Ben Tankard. His favorite book is Why Does Everything Have to Be About Race? He likes the Steak and Lobster. His app is a news app. He most like to visit Johannesburg, drive cross country in RV, and his hidden talent is cooking. Sean Corbin played basketball and baseball in Coppin State University when he was younger, and he is a former Continental Basketball Association referee, just like Courtney Kirkland. So we got these old school refs, the top 2 refs that both refed in the CBA. Corbin is the best ref today for the Raptors. He has the highest win percentage. We've won both the games he reffed this year so far. We are 2-0. Sean Corbin in the game for us. 53% is our win percentage with him right now. But the Rockets are his favorite team statistically. Out of all 30 NBA teams, the Rockets have the highest win percentage out of all 30 NBA teams with Sean Corbin. And they win 66% of their games with him. So the split is 53-66 for the Rockets with Sean Corbin, probably the nicest ref to us today, guys. Maybe the third ref will be nice too. We'll have to see. But Sean Corbin is the second ref. The third ref is Matt Boland, the golfer, number 18 in his 22nd season out of Cromwell, Connecticut. He likes Seinfeld, the movie Tin Cup. He listens to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. His favorite book is High Performance Habits. He'll eat some pizza. His app is Weather. He'd most like to visit Scotland. And his bucket list is to play golf at Augusta National. Bro, if you're a professional golfer, why haven't you played at Augusta National? You don't have to play in the tournament at the Masters. Why don't you just go play around down there, Matt Boland? I'm sure they won't say no to you if you came there and you say, hey, I'd like to play Augusta National real quick. Well, who are you coming in with? Do you know Adam Silver? Yeah, he can help me get in here and golf. Adam Silver, the NBA? Yeah, I'm a referee. I want to golf here at Augusta National. Why don't you say that? Just come on in. I mean, seriously, why don't you go play at Augusta National, Matt Boland? I mean, seriously, you don't have to play in the Masters, but you go play there, right? You know, Matt Boland also served in the Connecticut National Guard from 1987 to 1995. He was commissioned second lieutenant in 1990 before being promoted to first lieutenant in 1992. He is an accomplished golfer and has competed in several PGA of America events and worked as a PGA professional. That's right, professional golfer Matt Boland is the third ref. And well, he's right in between everything today. We won one game that we had him reffing this year. We won it. So we're 1-0 with Matt Boland. And we have a 500 record with him. Exactly the same wins and losses. And guess what? The Rockets have the same thing. 500 to 500 split right down the middle. No favor of either team with Matt Boland today. It's 50 to 50. And, well, we won our only game this season with Matt Boland around. So there's the ref crew. It's not that friendly. I'm going to say that right now. Courtney Kirkland is not friendly at all. He's going to be a bastard to the Raptors. Now, with Matt Boland and Sean Corbin, they'll be the balancing kind of guys that'll kind of make some of the calls that'll help us out possibly. But Courtney Kirkland's not going to be good to us today. I'm going to tell you that right now, guys. If he is and I'm wrong, that'd be awesome. I'll come around and say it tomorrow. But from my initial impression of today, the crew chief's not going to be very nice to the Raptors today, guys. So there's your ref report. Courtney Kirkland for the first time this year, along with Sean Corbin and Matt Boland as our refs today. Yeah, it could be worse, honestly. Like I said, because of our status in the standings of being a not very high rank record, we're not getting the premier refs as much. We've barely seen Scott Foster this year, and thank God. In some ways, that's maybe one of the perks of being a team that's not one of the top teams. And that may be part of the rebuilding process is we've got to go through and win more. And when we win more, we'll get more of the senior veteran refs, and some of them are dicks. And that's a new level of dealing with refs and trying to be even better through the horrible officiating that may actually be very, very much trying to hold down the Raptors when they get to an excellent point of being very good. You know, you get used to this, Scott. You know, you getting upset with the refs. Well, some days this is easy street right now while we're losing. Wait until we start really being a threat to win. They may really want to screw you over by then. So be ready for this, Raptors, and be able to play through the calls and the bullshit that the officials might give you. That's what I'm going to say right now. Derps is in first. Derps is in first. Wow. Pre-Super Bowl Sunday game. Raptors at Rockets. And out are Pirtle, RJ Ingram, Jabari, and Fred is a game time decision. So they're saying Fred's a game time decision? Man, the last thing I saw on him was he's a week to week. Let me go look at one more thing that could tell me a little bit more about this as far as things. No, it's saying he's out today. I don't think Fred's going to play today. It may be that he's a game time decision, but it's not likely. Seriously, we know how Fred is. Fred's a little different when he comes back from injury. He takes a little longer sometimes. And there's been no indication, at least from what I've heard, that Freddie might be able to play today. I think he's pretty much going to be out. So game time decision for Fred. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Blake Murphy, when his report for today's game, is saying that AJ Lawson and Shamshay are with the 905. And yeah, it's pretty much all the same. Mobo and Battle and Walter are all with the Raptors. Shed also. So yeah, it's the normal guys are where AJ Lawson is on that 905 team with Shamshay. And they're not available to the Raptors for the game against the Rockets in Houston because they're not there. They didn't travel there. All right, let's see what Trevor J's here, the commissioner of fun. Trevor J. He's like a big support for the channel. We appreciate him so much. He's saying you do not have to fight against wicked people. Do not waste your energy. Their own plotting, scheming, and lies will bring them down. I hope so. I hope that's true. I hope that evil gets its comeuppance. And, well, I'd love to see it. It'll be really fun to watch. But sometimes that karma that comes back and gets these people, you don't get to see it or witness it. Just understand that and know this. What Trevor's saying is true. You don't have to be the one that does the dirty work. You can just go on with your life and don't sully your hands. Don't sully your life by stooping to their level on some stupid shit. Their comeuppance will come when you don't need to be there either, because you don't need to know it. That's part of the plan. Sometimes if it's public and they're a public figure, you will see it because it'll be right in front of you on the news. But often in private life with people that aren't famous, you won't see it. And you'll just have to believe in the higher power and not wish for it, not like visualize and fantasize about it, but understand that everything kind of happens for a reason the way it does, and that it will happen that way. There you go. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. I appreciate you, Trevor. Yeah, I really, really do. I appreciate your words of wisdom. Trevor's saying T. Morant was ejected, overly disrespectful to the referees in the loss to OKC last night. So the Grizzlies and the Thunder played yesterday. Two teams we've seen in the last week. They're very good teams. I could have told you the Thunder would beat the Grizzlies, though, because in some ways the Grizzlies were not as serious in some ways as the Thunder were when we played them this past week. So I could have told you they were going to probably win that, not just from the standings. Well, T. Morant didn't like how it was going down, how his son Ja was getting the calls, and he made himself a part of the game. Well, he needs to watch out. Once again, Nav Bhatia inviting people that are disruptive to NBA games. Come on, Nav. Why do you keep bringing these people to these games that are messing with games like DR DeRozan and T. Morant? I saw him sitting next to you the other day at the Memphis game. Yeah, I saw you brought T. Morant and had him sitting next to you. He's a rabble rouser. He's a troublemaker, obviously, after last night's event. So people that Nav gets to come and sit with him from other teams, they're usually like problem people. Yeah, DR's a nice young lady. Don't get it twisted. But she was a problem for the Raptors on that play-in game that day. Oh, yes, she was. And she was sitting next to Nav Bhatia. Well, T. Morant was sitting next to Nav Bhatia the other day, too, just so you know. I don't know about last night, but this doesn't sound far-fetched to me that T. Morant got thrown out of a game for getting involved as a father of an NBA player. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Trevor's saying that Anthony Davis' first game as a Maverick, 26 points, 16 rebounds, seven assists. And where are the blocks? You should put the blocks in there. But he got injured in the fourth quarter. Well, you got the full AD experience, Dallas fans, already. It's crazy. They're protesting outside that arena. The Mavs fans are really pissed right now. And I get it. I don't know. Anthony Davis, he looked badass. And, well, your team won. So I don't know, Mavs fans. You just kind of go through it. Maybe over time you'll get used to this. It's because right now you're not used to it. You're not used to post-Luka life. And I get it. You're pissed. I might be like you guys too if I was in your fan nation. If I was Mavericks freak, I'd probably be just as pissed and ranting and raving on this channel, just like y'all are pissed about the whole thing. Of course, I probably would have been talking shit about the business, the new ownership since the new ownership took place for that team. Oh, I'd be talking all kinds of mad, crazy Israel war shit if I was Mavericks freak on here against my own team's owner. But yeah, I would probably be a very rebellious Mavericks freak if I was the counterpoint for that franchise. Than what I do for the Raptors franchise. I'd be crazy, honestly. I'd probably be a raving lunatic because they traded Luka Doncic. I'd probably be crazy. Could you imagine Mavericks Freak Channel, what it would be like right now, especially with the same politics that I have? And the fact I would be talking up Kyrie so much. I'd be like, Kyrie is a hero of the people and fuck Israel and go Palestine. I'd say shit like that. He's like fighting the power from within. Kyrie Irving. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying for the second time in history, Super Bowl will have the same two black quarterbacks again. That's cool. I like that. That's a cool thing. In some ways, that's sad because, in the NFL, they held back black guys from being quarterbacks for so long. And it's taken so long for this to only happen twice for the first times. Like how many years into it? This is what tells you that there is racism and discrimination in our society, that, that there was always the ability for a black person to play quarterback. But for the longest time in the NFL, black people just didn't play quarterback. Why was that? Why was that NFL? Why was that football? Can we revisit this? Why is it that there's so many black quarterbacks now? Where were they before? Were they not allowed to play that position? Was there some sort of color barrier for people being able to play quarterback back in the day? I don't know. I don't study the NFL. I don't give a shit about it. In fact, today I don't give a fuck about the game today. I was like, I don't watch football. I'm not gonna watch this shit. I don't care about the halftime. I don't care about the commercials. I don't care about the big, dumb, stupid whole event. I'll watch the Raptors game and then I'll do my own thing afterwards. And I won't even care. I'll pay attention to who won, but that's it. That's all. I won't even watch a highlight. I don't give a shit about this football game at all today. I really don't. Anybody wants me to talk about the football game, you're not going to get any content out of me. I'm sorry. That's fantastic, though. But why is this taking so long in 2025 for only happening twice? That's what I'm wondering. That's messed up in some ways right there. Trevor J saying Dallas Mavericks are waiting to Bruce Brown on the buyout market. They want to get Bruce Brown on the buyout market. That's interesting. I saw that article too. Once again, that's a rumor that has not happened yet. And Trevor, I don't know if that's going to actually happen. So I'm not going about speculation. And we got to stop the speculative kind of posts from unworthy sources. In some ways, you have sources that you're bringing us content from that I do not trust in the least. And I do not want sources from untrusted sites anymore. So I don't know if I can take this for real because nothing's set in stone. And until it happens, I'm not commenting on it because it may not happen. And it's wasted energy for me to talk about. So we'll see. There's a rumor that Bruce Brown will get bought out and go to the Mavericks, just like Ben Simmons went to the Clippers yesterday. He got bought out by the Nets, and he will be playing for the Clippers on that team. Well, in some ways, good job, Steve Ballmer. You just made one reason why I don't want the Clippers to win now. I was like, okay, well, Kawhi's healthy and they can get far. Now I wanted them to get far and maybe win the championship. But if you got Ben Simmons trolling along with you guys, easy street, just trying to collect the championship, real easy like that, fuck that. The Clippers, you don't get to win now. I don't want y'all to win. I do not want y'all to win now with your fancy new Intuit Dome and all your bullshit. You going to go get Ben Simmons? Well, you instantly made me not want to root for y'all anymore. I was going to root for y'all up until yesterday. But now that you went and got Ben Simmons, I can't root for y'all in clear conscience at this point. That man never deserves any success in this league for the way he's treated his career. So, yeah, No. Derps is saying, see, looks like Bruce Brown may stay in New Orleans, last I heard at least. That's why we don't do this, guys, because I don't want to talk about it, and you guys are going to go back and forth. And in some ways, it's not real. It's not fact until it happens. So let's not do this, Trevor. Please. You have to bring me confirmed deals and news and stop bringing me rumors, man. Seriously. Please, Trevor. And see, because Derps is hearing that he's going to stay in New Orleans. I don't know which is which. We'll just see how it goes down. It could very well be that Bruce Brown, it could be a part of their plans in New Orleans, and they don't want to buy him out because they want to enjoy the buyout, not the buyout, but the money coming off their books in the summer. So that's why I don't want to do this. Kareem saying that Dalton Connect just walked back into the Lakers locker room and screamed, "I'm not leaving," like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Wolf of Wall Street. Well, I hope those Wolves of Wall Street get the fuck out of there at some point. They're the predatory class of the society of the United States because Wall Street is useless. Honestly, it's just like Monopoly for kids, not for kids, for adults, for big dumb adults. Monopoly. I'm going to speculate on this. I'm going to ruin people's lives by speculating on this and this and this and do this. Let's make housing a need for everybody, a basic need, into speculation. Oh, let's start speculating on water. And let's make water cost something more and more because we're speculating on water. Fuck Wall Street. Fuck your Wall Street comment. Fuck that shit. Nah, listen, Dalton Connect should have been mad that he had to go back. Seriously. Some people say, oh, no, he should be happy. He doesn't have to go to Charlotte. Nah, man, he'd be better off going to Charlotte. Trust me. He'd be better getting the fuck away from Bronny and his dad because, honestly, he's been in their shadow the whole year and not deservingly because the kid's been way better than LeBron Jr. And honestly, man, you had escaped. But stupid-ass Mark Williams is not in shape and failed his physical. So they rejected the trade because of medical for Mark Williams. That's so stupid, man. That shows just how bad the Hornets organization is, honestly. When you trade a player and they get rejected in the medical examination by the other team, that means you guys were not paying attention to him or looking at him right. So yeah, this is an evidence of the Hornets organization being inept and just not knowing their personnel or doing their jobs right. Because they should have known everything about Mark Williams. And well, the Lakers found out more about him than they knew. And they sent him right on back, and they got Dalton Connect coming back this way. Now, if I was Dalton, I'd be upset in some ways. Seriously, he may not be because he's like, oh, good, I'm back on the Lakers, not on Charlotte. But dude, just trust me. This would have been a good thing for your career if you had just gone to Charlotte right now. Seriously. Oh, Mark Williams. So what's the plan for the Lakers at center now? Because they can't get Mark Williams now. Well, they got to play Jackson Hayes as starting center. Well, Lakers, you're bullshit. Yeah, and Coloco's the backup. Him and I don't even remember his name. They've also got Christian Wood, but he's hurt. He ain't come back yet. So yeah, let's see. Kareem saying PJ Tucker is like a fly that just won't go away. Well, he's just a trading piece at now. It's not like PJ has played meaningful basketball for like 2 or 3 years. I don't understand how he's robbing this league for so much money just sitting on the sidelines. You know, it's so dumb. Who the hell paid him this contract? Oh, the Sixers? Those idiots. Like who the hell is paying PJ Tucker 17 million a year for what he's doing right now? This sucks. Buy him out. Get him the hell out of here. Wave his ass. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't even know why they haven't done this yet. Why haven't we just done it? Just get it done with Bobby. Why is he still hanging around on my injury list? Because he shouldn't be around it anywhere. PJ Tucker, well, you could have been a Raptors alumni that was beloved, but you shat all over your legacy. And it is what it is. And even though the Raptors were really good to you, and honestly, you wouldn't have your career without the Raptors. So PJ Tucker, you're one of those ungrateful little son of a bitches that doesn't understand actually who helped them along the way. And Masai Ujiri and the Raptors helped you, you son of a bitch. So you should respect our franchise and our president because we gave you tough lessons that made you a pro. You weren't a pro until you came to Toronto, motherfucker. So don't even give me this shit. So you should have more respect for Toronto Raptors franchise because you wouldn't even have a career in the NBA without us, bitch. Is what I would say to PJ Tucker. Seriously. He didn't get woken up or given a chance until he came to Toronto, and we gave him a wake-up call, and then he got his career. So, Tucker, here's a two-finger salute for you, bro. There's nothing you did. You were cool. You didn't have to be like, oh, this about Toronto. Nobody ever wants to go to Toronto and all this kind of stuff. Why would you shit on the place that made you, motherfucker? Is what I would say to you, man. That's right. In some ways, we made you. We gave you the door to come into an NBA life and make the millions of dollars that you got right now. You could have been some scrubby motherfucker in Europe this whole time. Yeah, PJ Tucker. So figure out your priorities of respect because honestly, Masai Ujiri's criticism of you early in your career, actually, it wasn't even him. I think it was Colangelo or somebody. It was way back. Trust me. It was way back. But I think Masai was working for us or something. He said Masai was involved. We said some things to him about his professionalism, told him he need to fucking be a better pro. He didn't like it. He got mad at us, but he listened to us on the down low and became a better pro because of it. So, yeah, okay, PJ Tucker. Okay, you can go ahead and be a xenophobe, hate Canada, hate Toronto with your bullshit, but you ain't in the NBA for as long as you've been without fucking Toronto. So you need to know that. You need to recognize that. Seriously. Kareem saying, if I'm Dalton, I'm asking to be traded. I know he's a rookie, but Paleka already damaged that relationship. There's no coming back from that. Yeah, that's the weird thing. That's got to be very, very, very awkward. Very awkward. I mean, yeah, he already knows. Yeah, they're going to trade you. They're willing to trade you. You're in your rookie year. You've played half a season for the Lakers, and obviously LeBron has not anointed you as a touched one that wants to be next to you. So you're expendable, bro. And that's how it is. And you got to know that. So maybe, yeah, you want to get turned around, but it's too late now. He can't be moved now because the trade deadline's over. So he's got to play the rest of the year with them. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. He may be stuck with them now. It may be one of these weird things like Kyle Lowry, where the trade was going to happen, would have happened, but somebody failed a physical and he never went to New York. I don't know. Dalton Connect. I'm with you, man, on this, Kareem. It's like now he's got to know he's expendable. And man, he might want to get the fuck out of there. Seriously, he if he's not getting traded, he might be making his free agency decision to leave as soon as he can down the road. Kareem saying, if a coach gets a tech, the opposing coach should shoot the free throw. There would be a whole new world of mind games and coaching strategies. NBA should make this happen. This is hilarious. You know what? I think this is innovative. I think this is the stuff that Adam Silver might be interested in. Honestly,
To tell you the truth, this may be one of the best dunks this year so far. And this is why Kareem is the dunk leader for our channel. This is amazing. Honestly, I want to give you a double dunk for this. I'm going to give you 6 points for this one, Kareem, because this is kind of above and beyond. So you're at 24 points on the dunk charts now, because this is an amazing idea. I've just been thinking about it. Now, here's a weird fun fact. Did you guys know that on the Spurs, their coach right now, who's replaced Popovich because of his stroke, Mitch Johnson, is actually younger than Chris Paul. The coach of the Spurs is currently younger than the starting point guard of the Spurs, Chris Paul. Yeah, Mitch Johnson's younger than him in his 30s. Isn't that crazy? So maybe Mitch Johnson would be a good person to take the free throws. Now, what happens if Coach Popovich comes back? And, well, he's older. That's a weird factor in some ways. It's weird. I mean, sure, coaches should be able to shoot free throws at any age. I agree. But that's weird, man. That's a weird idea. That's such a weird idea. Why don't you just have the coach shoot all the technical free throws that don't have anybody designated for them? If there's just some random free throw, you put them out there. I don't know. This is a weird one. In some ways, it struck me a little weird. It's a curveball, but I like it. I like it. Double dunk. That's right. Smooth saying Hornets try to trade damaged goods, man. I don't know if they knew that. That's how inept they are. I think that they thought that everything would be fine, and they'd send them. The Lakers have a different level of doctors. Maybe there was buyer's remorse by the Lakers, and they made up some bullshit. I wouldn't put it past this league at this point, Coloco, with all kinds of medical fabrications and stuff. I don't know if it's fabricated for Coloco. Could be, but it seems like it was. It's such a weird situation. So what if the Lakers are going over things with Mark Williams and they're talking to him and he's kind of like not somebody they're interested in? Y'all, fail his physical. We can't have him here. Fail him. Oh, there's some other problems with him. No, it's not his back. It's not his back. It's other issues. We can't disclose them publicly because it's not right for him, for his legal stuff. So, yeah, we can't disclose exactly what's wrong with Mark Williams, but sorry, he can't be here. We're rescinding the deal because he failed his physical. Well, what did he fail on, Lakers? He just failed, okay? I mean, I wouldn't put past like Adam Silver giving secret powers to the Lakers to do fucked up shit like that. Like, maybe Rob Pelinka's an idiot. He's like, yeah, I'll get Mark Williams. Wait, but Dalton's such a good rookie, and we just got a scrubby center for him. Oh, crap. I don't like this deal after all. How do we get out of it? Call Adams, call him and tell him that it's he didn't pass his physical. We can nix the trade. Okay, yeah, let's do that right now. I shouldn't have made this trade. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have made the trade for Mark. All right, we're gonna get it. Somebody. Oh, thank God. I'm glad I got fixed. Is that what happened with the Lakers? I don't know. I can speculate on this shit. Seriously, there could be a couple different ways that this happened. I'm not saying either one of these front offices are good. Hornets or Lakers right now. They're horrible front offices right now. And I have the right to say that coming from Toronto. Trust me. I do, yeah. Stargate saying we haven't had Bill Kennedy ref any of the Raptors games this season as well. He is one of those top-level refs, and this is true to an extent. Let me go look real quick. I'll tell you exactly how many times we've seen Bill so far this year. I think we've seen him one time this whole entire year, and we lost in the game that he refed us. That's it. We've seen him once this year. Smooth saying that Ben Simmons to Clippers. Yeah, I'm not rooting for them now because Ben Simmons, he's a blocker for me to root for that team. It doesn't matter what team he's on. I'm rooting against him just for being him. His part in the Philadelphia Raptors rivalry in his early career made me hate him right away. And then his conduct and the way he's treated his NBA career has made me hate him even worse since. And he doesn't deserve any kind of success as on a team in the NBA. He doesn't. He hasn't done shit with his career. So he doesn't deserve to go there and piggyback on a championship with the Clippers. So Clippers, I hope Kawhi gets hurt now and that you guys don't finish the whole season with him and you do not go anywhere in the playoffs. That's too bad. You had to make a dumb decision and pick a very unpopular player. And now some people are just going to not root for them just because of that. And I'm one of them. Yeah, Derps is saying Benny Boy to LA was like the sun going up, I guess. Yeah, it's stupid. He shouldn't be rewarded like this. For dogging his career out, bottoming it out, and then he gets rewarded for this. Honestly, if the NBA had more balls, they would have on the down low blackballed the guy and kicked him out of the league
and he could just sit at home like he was sitting at home for all those years. I don't give a shit about the mental stuff in some ways. He had all the benefits and the things that help him, and in some ways he's lying. He's lying on that shit. Seriously. He is. He's got everything at his fingertips. And in some ways, his bullshit that he's been saying is such bullshit, especially in the world that's so hard for people right now economically. To see a fuck face like Ben Simmons act like he has the last few years is just disrespectful. Disrespectful. Dude has no work ethic. The guy is a piece of crap. And I hope the Clippers absolutely get put out in the first round. Seriously, that's how I look at it, man. Yeah, Derps is saying, I feel bad for whoever gets drafted by Hornets, even if they have their best announcers. Laugh out loud. I don't know if the Hornets have the best announcers. I wouldn't say that. Del Curry's pretty good, though. We love Del. Del is, a loved Raptors alumni. PJ Tucker learned something from that. But, yeah, I don't know. Our guys are the best. That's what I'm saying right there. Speaking of Del Curry, speaking of Charlotte, speaking of Muggsy Bogues, a little clip came out yesterday from the Raptors with Muggsy and Scotty interacting with each other. And one of the things that was given away was that Scott knows from the fans that we really, really honor and love our alumni. Did you hear that was said? It was so cool. I believe it was Akil that was with them in this segment. And they were talking to each other and going back and forth and having some Subway. It was really just kind of a Subway commercial, guys. Subway with Scotty, of course, but Muggsy came in with the Subway sandwiches. Hey, guys, I brought Subway, guys. And they had some Subway sandwiches. And it was a really cool kind of like moment because they asked Muggsy, what would you want to say to Scotty about what he's doing in his career right now? And you could tell Scotty really took the words to heart. And Muggsy meant what he meant. This is so important, guys, because what we see in this clip, on this Subway commercial clip, is our culture solidifying. 30 years into the franchise of the Raptors, we've got an alumni, the shortest player in the history of the NBA, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues, coming back and talking to our young franchise player, and it's culture. This is something the Celtics have had forever. I mean, shit, they got culture from the 60s and way back. The Knicks have culture. All these franchises have history and culture. Well, this is what culture is, guys. It's old legends like Muggsy sitting down with current stars for our team and talking about what our franchise means to them and carrying on a pride and respect for the franchise and the whole culture of it. And I love that because, listen, the media up here, the NBA in general, and a lot of things have held down the culture of the Raptors developing because we shouldn't be proud of being Raptors Nation, because we shouldn't be proud of our expansion team in Canada, because we shouldn't be proud of a joke in the league is that's what they thought we were supposed to be, just like the Grizzlies in Vancouver. No, we weren't like that. And we build ourselves a winning franchise, a championship franchise in the 30 years of our existence. And we should have self-pride in our team and the things we've accomplished as a culture for the Toronto Raptors. But powers out there, they want to build Raptors delight and some bullshit and write the history of the Raptors for Sportsnet and their bullshit documentary series, which Brad Face has said is very popular. Yeah, it's popular to fucking shit on that piece of crap. I'll wipe my ass with it. But I'm just saying, this is a signifier of culture growing in the Raptors organization, that alumni like Muggsy interacting with Scotty and them both expressing admiration and respect for the team and the culture and the traditions of the Toronto Raptors. That's us arriving, y'all, to being a team with culture and history. And I love that. I love that so much. Thank you, Muggsy, for being there for Scott. And Scotty, thank you for understanding this and really carrying it very well. Probably maybe one of the best franchise faces we've ever had, understanding the relationship that I'm talking about right now. And you take this very seriously because you're going to be a big part of that history and culture very soon. You already are, but you're going to be even bigger in the whole scope of things. I know you are, because you're going to get that second Larry for us, maybe even the third or the fourth. Who knows? We'll have to see. Yeah, let's see. Cool Cat's here. Coach Cool Cat in the house. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family 2022. What's up, Coach Cool Cat? Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Nav taking his ambassador role to heart to the detriment of our team. He has to be more logical to not cause us games. Yeah, the DeAndre DeRozan one was that. I mean, Santa tried to piss all over the court over Christmas. Why'd you let Santa come and pee all over the court here in Toronto? That's why. Where was all that water coming from? Was Santa just really sweating a lot because the suit's hot, and that the sweat was just rolling down on the court? That one game you brought Santa to the game, that Batia. I mean, I'm not anti-Santa. I think Santa's awesome, but we did have problems on the court with slippage when Santa was near that in the court. It's just Santa has such drip. Yeah, I mean, T didn't cause problems in Toronto last week, but he caused some problems last night, apparently. That's right. That's right. Smooth saying next year it will be irrelevant who he brings to the game. Raptors will be back. You're talking about with Nav? Yeah, I mean, I'm poking fun. I'm poking fun. In some ways, the goodwill of Nabati is a goodwill that everybody in this world should be more like, honestly. Nabati is a great example for turning the other cheek and loving everybody. It doesn't matter. It's sports is sports. And, he loves Ja Morant. He loves other people around the league, just as much as he loves his Raptors too. I mean, he in some ways is like Drake for that. He's very much a super fan for the NBA on a certain level, not just for the Raptors. The Raptors are his home team and the team that he very much beloves. But in some ways, Nav's branched out. As much as I'm completely Raptors centric and focused, he's not. He's got other things going on. That's why he's the super fan who's at the Naismith Hall of Fame, because he's networked and branched out enough to be a part of the NBA community as a whole and not just here with the Raptors. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see who he brings to games in the future. Keep bringing kids to the games, Nav. You should have all the kids from around downtown Toronto that are underprivileged, that don't get a chance to go to games. They should be the ones sitting next to you. They should be the ones sitting next to you. Not even that guy, the mortgage guy or whatever, the slick guy with the Star Trek haircut, like he's a Spock. Yeah, that guy, he's rich as hell. He probably paid for his own ticket. And he's like making all the jewelry or something. What does he do? He's like mortgages or something. Yeah, this guy's got some sort of rackets going on. That's for sure. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Smooth saying Anthony Davis strained his groin out for a while. Yeah, and the sun came up today. I mean, seriously. Smooth saying Mavs got the win, but Davis is injured. Wow, Nico knows how to pick him. Yeah, this doesn't help Mavs fans be happy. Maybe some of them were coming around during the game like, wow, look at how he blocked that shot. Look at how he's getting all these rebounds. We're winning. This is great. And then boom, he gets hurt at the end. And then the Mavs fans are getting to feel it. In some ways that stat line by Davis looks more like a Pelican stat line for him than a Lakers stat line. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, his numbers are going to go up on the Mavericks. And in some ways, for individual person, for himself, he's going to get more spotlight in some ways. He gets the boost for being a Laker, but in some ways his stats are going to be better. And, he may get a little bit more shine in a weird way being away from the Lakers on the Mavericks. So we'll have to see. He was getting that happening to him when he was on the Pelicans before. And then LeBron just overshadowed him pretty much the whole time he was at the Lakers. Well, I don't know if Kyrie and him, as far as the optics, looking from the outside, in some ways Davis could become the number one on that team optically. Right now, it's still Kyrie, but Davis kicks ass and does certain things in leading the Mavericks. All of a sudden, he'll be the clear-cut franchise leader, and he'll have more attention in certain ways, is what I'm saying. Derps is saying that Daniel Tice to Europe. Interesting if it happens with Lakers without starting center. Yeah, Tice got traded to the Thunder or somebody, and then he got cut immediately. And yeah, that was weird. I thought they were cutting all the German guys when I heard the Dennis, but that was fake news about Dennis. Yeah, and Stargate said, I don't watch American football either. I only watch real football, soccer. Yeah, I don't know. I really did stop watching. I was watching the NFL really passionately until Colin Kaepernick happened. And I'm not mad at Colin. I'm glad he took his knee. I support him. I'm mad at the response to Colin. And that's why I turned it off. And I've never looked back. And that's been about 10 years now. Yeah, NFL, you lost me for life because you guys are fucking fascists. And the way you took free speech away from Colin Kaepernick in a very, very important movement of Black Lives Matters and the things that happened with George Floyd, and other things that happened, the reasons why he did that. Yeah, fuck you, NFL. Never coming back. I stand with Colin. That's just how it is for me. Scotty will wear the jersey and still watch the Ravens, but he understands where I stand because he stands with me, because he wore the black Kaepernick jersey when they went to Washington on that road trip recently. Yeah, he understands. He gets it. Scott's a smart young man, and politically, he knows a lot more than you guys think. And he is on top of things a lot more than you guys think. It may not be so much in his life or worrying about it, but he's an educated guy that's aware of stuff. And politically, I mean, wearing a Kaepernick jersey tells me all I need to know about where Scott stands on the rights of black people in America. And yeah, he's on the right side, obviously. There you go. He watches CFL, Argos. You watch the Argos, Reggie? Yeah, Toronto Argos, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Grey Cup. Let's go. Tice to Europe. Well, that only makes sense, right? I mean, at some point, Daniel Tice is going to have his NBA career run out. I mean, he's been in the league for a long time already. I wouldn't be surprised if he's done and he's going to his Europe part of his career now. I wouldn't be surprised about that. I'm more surprised if Dennis was at that point, like we thought this week, with the fake news about him being waived. But Daniel, that makes more sense to me. Older, slower. In some ways, the league is bigger than him at this point. He's not a true center, and he's not like he's a super fast guy. He's just a really scrappy kind of like smart guy, but he's not the most athletic center in a lot of ways. Let's see. To Europe? I don't know. Trevor's saying it is a video circling, showing a long lineup for Luka's number 7 jersey for Lakers. This is bullshit propaganda. Who cares? It's a new thing, and you're marrying a very popular player with one of the most popular teams in the world. This is going to happen naturally. This does not impress me. I'm not surprised by this. And to be honest, the Lakers are trying to distract from the possible malfeasance of this trade by just saying, oh, everything's happy. It's ensconced. He's here. He's the number 1 jersey sales right now. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about this kind of news, Trevor. I really don't give a shit about the Lakers jersey sales. I mean, I could have told you this was going to happen. It's not like Luka's already one of the top jersey sales, and then you marry him to the Lakers, and Lakers Nation's got to go out and get that 77 immediately. This is not a shock. And in some ways, this shouldn't be a news item on this channel. It really shouldn't. Let's keep going. Derps is saying, Connect hopefully balls out. Then he can ask out if he wants to get traded this summer or at the draft. Yeah, I don't know. This is awkward. He's on a rookie contract. And why would you want to trade him so quick like that? He's totally been sold out. I don't know, man. Awkward. Let's just say that. It's awkward. In some ways, it's not totally that easy to trade him, and they've already shown that they will. Crazy. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam. Happy game day. Good morning to Fiercey. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family, 2022. Good morning, MJ. I hope you're having a good weekend. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's watch some basketball. That's what I'm saying. 2:00. They'll be happy the game will be over in time. But the Super Bowl, in some ways, is giving us an advantage because the game is earlier in the day. So, like I said, the Rockets aren't getting a full 24 hours off between the games. And they did have to travel from Dallas back to Houston. It's not that far. It's not that crazy. But technically, this is a very early game for them. This is like a 12 o'clock start for them. And they just played a game in the afternoon yesterday. So this is a benefit for the Raptors. We're going to have to see. I want Darko to get our young guns to run and go crazy and run up and down the court. And maybe we tire them out a little bit. They are a younger team overall, but who knows? Maybe because of the back-to-back and fatigue, maybe we can run them off the court a little bit. We'll have to see. Kareem saying PJ Tucker has an amazing collection of shoes. That's true. But that's because he's a size 6 in kids, and all the sneakers he has are pretty much half price. Okay. Kareem has come with the microphone in hand and the spotlight on him on the stage. He's at Yuck Yucks right now. All right, I'm going to give you one for this one too, because this is pretty funny. You're saying that he has more shoes because he has kid-size feet, and that's how he can fit into getting more shoes. Man, Kareem, you try and get the top lead for dunks. You're getting it today so far. You're getting it. I think you just jumped into number 1 for the year so far because you got this one. Let's see. There's so much snow outside. I'm just hoping one of them young entrepreneurs comes around and offers to clean my driveway. So, you know what? This is kind of a signifier of where you are in life. Are you going out there? All right. First of all, are you the kid doing the shoveling? Well, you're a kid. Are you the kid who doesn't want to do the shoveling? Well, you're probably a teenager. Are you out there doing it because nobody else is going to do it. You're a young adult. Okay. Are you out there doing it because somebody told you to do it? Well, you're probably married. Well, are you out there doing it because, but you don't want to be doing it, but your back's hurting? Okay. You're probably middle-aged. You out there doing it, and what you're out there waiting for people to come do it. Yeah, you're old now. You're waiting for the kids to come and do it in the neighborhood. You're old now. You're old now. Why don't you get one of your kids to do it? Why don't you get a young entrepreneur from underneath your own business? Keep the money circulating in your economy at your house, Kareem. Buy Thomason, like buy Canadian. Go get the Thomas worker around the house. I don't care who it is, whoever's available, and get them out there and say, hey, here's $20, son. Go and shovel the driveway. I don't know how that would go over. Anyway, thank you for the snow shoveling update, Kareem. G saying, seems like Davion always wanted to be Heat culture. So this may have been a good move. As much as I love his game, Pat Bev called Ingram a dog, and he said he loves Darko. All right, yeah, we talked about that yesterday about Patrick Beverley's comments about Brandon Ingram being a true dog, and now Raptors have a Patrick Beverley certified dog on our team. Not that that's something we never had to actually fulfill or anything. Like, we don't give a shit what you think, Pat Bev. I do like him, vouching for Darko, though. That is a big deal. Yeah, the Davion thing is a real fit, and it sucks, man. I had to unfollow Davion this morning because I'm starting to see what's happening with him down there, and it's making me mad. Because in some ways, I would have loved to keep him up here. I think he's such a great weapon in the NBA, and it would have been a real luxury if we could have had him. But he is made for Heat culture. And, he's posting stuff like this morning saying sometimes you end up, things go the way they do, and you end up right exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, he said something like that, similar to us when he got traded to us. But it seems like it's hitting even harder. And the Heat had some sort of fair this weekend with a very fancy affair with ties and suits and fine dining and in their arena for the players. And this is like the first team event that Davion's showing up for, and he's just wowed by it. In some ways, it's not that I'm jealous of their organization, because I know our organization has a whole bunch of the perks and the best things about it too. But it's annoying. It's annoying. So I had to unfollow him. It's also, tough to deal with seeing him in the Miami weather all of a sudden compared to being up here. But yeah, I wish Davion the best. It's a great fit for him. And, the Miami Heat are just like that plane in Indiana Jones. Dun, 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 dun. They're about to fly into the mountain with Jimmy Butler, but they threw Jimmy Butler out the plane in a little inflatable dinghy, and they take the plane with their season. They're just barely saving it from crashing in the side of a mountain. Seriously. And Davion Mitchell will help them. He'll help them. I'm upset about this. I have respect, and he's always going to be a Raptor alumni. But, man, in some ways, this may be one I revisit down the road with Bobby and Masai as far as things, because I really think that he was a Raptor. He should have been a Raptor for longer. Seriously. But who knows? Maybe there's a lot of other things that were involved in it, and that's why. Yeah, Tristan's laughing at Kareem. He's on fire today. Seriously, Kareem is on fire today. Kareem got up on the funny side of the bed. Kareem said, I'm sorry, but I'm watching Luka Doncic, and his smiles with them, the Lakers, are not genuine. Are they forced and a little bit painful? Is it like this? Is it like... It's like it's not in the mouth. You can see it in the eyes is where you see it. It's like when a deranged person in Toronto comes up to you and asks you a question on the sidewalk. It's that kind of thing. Wow. I'll bet this is true. It looks so cringy and fake. He does not want to be there. Lakers are up for a rude awakening. See, he's a body language. There's one thing that we try to do on the Raptors Free Channel is we read faces and energy and vibes and feelings. And Kareem is feeling the vibes. I haven't gone and looked at it. I don't give a shit. I'm not watching Lakers. I've seen a couple pictures of him sitting on a bench with Bronny and that stuff. But yeah, that's funny. You're getting that reading from him. He's kind of smiling, but it's very painful, uncomfortable smiling, like there's a gun to the back of his back. Rude awakening. That's right, Rick Rude. Woo! That's right. Why did I do the Ric Flair woo for Rick Rude? Yeah. Anyway. He's going to show you what you meat turkeys, what a real man looks like to your women. That's right, Rick Rude. Rude awakening. Trevor's saying Zion Williamson says he misses his brother Brandon Ingram yesterday in an interview that he was a locker room guy. Yeah, it's on the download. This is what we're finding out about Ingram is he's kind of like the social butterfly. He's got such good bonds with his former teammates, Jose Alvarado, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Yeah, he's got a lot. In some ways, this shows how considerate he is. He's had an interview the other day, one of his first ones with the Raptors, and they asked him, like, who do you miss the most, and what kind of memories are you going to miss the most from New Orleans? And he said, I can't name any names because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not mentioning them here. That's such a considerate guy. And then Scotty's comment yesterday said, Brandon Ingram is a guy with a lot of heart, and he has a lot of love to give, and he's going to give me a lot of love. And I know that we're going to have a really good relationship. That's what Scott said. So he's like, I can see it. It's like, in some ways, he's an enigma. He's quiet. He's kind of a whispery, kind of chill guy. But on the down low, in the behind the scenes, he's fun. He likes to socialize. He likes to make connections with his teammates. And I think the youth movement of our team will make it easier for him because in some ways, there's not as many veterans. Garrett, Jakob, who he idolizes, Chris Boucher, who's similar to him in body type, and Garrett, who he already knows. And then the rest of them are all young guys who will look up to Brandon to a degree and say, yeah, we could learn a lot from a former most improved player and all-star in this league already. So, and Scotty respects him, and he respects Scotty, and that's an important one there, and RJ and Emmanuel too. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not surprised that the former Pelicans are missing Brandon Ingram already, and that he was one of those locker room guys. Yeah, well, let's be a locker room guy here, Brandon, and let's let the vibes flow, the chill vibes, the fun vibes, the goofy vibes. That's right. The goofy vibes will flow. We're going to see some goofy shit. Yeah, Trevor's saying, and also he asked the fans already to give him a nickname. He wants a nickname. And some people are trying to call him the Slim Reaper of the North. Let's not be like that. I'm okay with Maple Reaper, but actually Maple Reaper doesn't work either because he's not Canadian. So I don't know. Kingram of the North is my favorite so far. And that just uses a name that he already has. And King of the North is something we've heard before. So Kingram of the North is like Brandon being in Canada, Kingram of the North, North Kingram. I don't know, something like that. That's kind of my first jab at a nickname for Brandon Ingram up here. But he's calling for it. He wants the fans to do this. And I don't know. We'll see organically what wins as the Toronto-centric nickname for Brandon Ingram. We'll see what wins. This is important stuff we're talking about on the Raptor Street channel. What's the nickname going to be for Brandon Ingram? Some people have said Notorious BI3. Notorious BI3. That's not that bad. I don't mind that since his number is going to be 3 now with us. It wouldn't have fit nowhere else. Notorious BI3. Yeah, that's not bad because his initials are in there and his number too. The Notorious BI3. I think those two are the top running nicknames for Brandon right now. Notorious BI3 and Kingram of the North. Yeah, I like those. Yeah, Trevor's saying Scotty and Darko's interviews were really good yesterday. Yeah, Scotty's reveling in it right now. Let's go look at the Instagram stories. In fact, on that cue, Scotty is showing them at practice in Houston in the house that Shed built. That's what they asked Scotty too at the interview yesterday. They said, Scotty, what's it feel like to be in Jamal's house? He's like, what? Huh? He's like, kind of like, what do you mean? It's like, you're in Houston. This is where Jamal went to school. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know about this. No, I know about Florida State, is what he said. And I was like, oh, you go, Scotty, Seminoles. Oh, yeah, I know. I went there. But yeah, Scotty standing for Florida State at University of Houston campus yesterday where they had their practice. And, of course, Jamal Shed's back in his stomping grounds. But there's a little snapshot of practice from Scott, taking a picture there. So a couple assistant coaches. It seems like Oshai Abaji coming on the court, and we see Jacoby and Jonathan in the back shooting around with Dr. Alex watching them in the little picture that Scotty took yesterday, 20 hours ago. AJ Lawson's got a best of clip that's out by the G League to promote the Up Next game. And they're showing off the best of AJ Lawson from this past G League season because he is an all-star for the G League in the All-Star weekend, the Up Next game. Let's see. Raptors 905 has something going on with the Dunkiversary. They're getting ready for this. There's going to be a shirt they're going to give away to the first 5,000 people who come to the game against Cleveland next week for the Dunkiversary, 25 years since Vince Carter took to the air in Oakland for the dunk competition, and it's over. And, well, it's a slam cover of Vince Carter on the cover of it. It's a very nice shirt, and they're not giving it out to everybody. It's only to the first 5,000 people that come to the game for the Cleveland game next Wednesday. So, yeah, Dunkiversary is coming up, and they're getting it all hyped and stuff. And I'm not cool with Vince right now. In some ways, we're gonna have this game. We'll get it over with, done with. In some ways, I'm like, whatever. Vince is getting his honors this year, as he should, to a degree. I don't totally agree with how we've honored him this year, but it is what it is. And in some ways, I don't control this, so I have to accept it. That's how you live your life on life's terms. If you can't control it, you can't do anything about it, well, accept it and move on. Don't fight against it and be pissed off about it for the rest of your life in some ways. Unless it's unjust and fucked up and you need to fight it because it is evil and wrong. And that's what I'll say about the government in the U.S. right now. They have score your chance to get these epic prizes, a jersey and tickets from Assist Your List through Sobeys. So many corporate crossovers for the Raptors this year with all kinds of products in their 30th anniversary. Yeah, there's a slam cover on Raptors saying there's greatest of all Toronto. I hate that. Don't put that on there. There's the greatest dunker of all time is what you should have put on there instead of GOAT, greatest of all Toronto. Fuck that. He's not the greatest of all Toronto. Fuck Vince Carter. And I honestly hate those shirts. You guys can be happy and go get that collector's item, but I would never, ever wear that damn shirt myself. Is what I say. Just me personally as a Raptors fan. I'm not with Vince. I was for like 3 months, but then the Sportsnet thing that came out recently completely put me back on the corner of like, I hate this motherfucker because he revels in being a villain towards Raptors in our history. He's more comfortable being a villain towards us than being a part of our alumni, guys. And that's why I fuck him. That's what I'm going to say. Y'all can like Vince. I won't get mad at y'all for liking Vince, but I'm officially back off on Vince. He's fuck that guy. Young Och with a big guard on his Instagram. There's Ochai Agbaji with a young fan from the game against Oklahoma City the other day wearing the 30 in red for the Raptors. I love seeing that. Ochai's got such a nice smile, too. He's just such a nice young man. Then there's a highlight from the game the other day with Ochai. Ochai didn't really have a great game, but he had a nasty dunk on Chet Holmgren at the beginning of the game, which kind of set the tone for, like, that's what we need to do more of, was be aggressive and take it to him, but it was very scary to do that. Matt Devlin showing off highlights of Scotty dunking on his Instagram. I'm not totally exactly sure what's going on here. Yeah, Scotty's been having such great effort around the basket lately. Scotty did say, like, he talked a lot about his defense and what he's been doing on defense in his interview yesterday. And we're just working really, really hard. And he also, he got really mad at Doug Smith because Doug Smith's an idiot. Doug Smith came up at Scotty yesterday in the press conference yesterday saying, Scotty, when you start the game, and you don't shoot well at the beginning, Darko said that he's very happy because you're just doing things to help them win, even if you're not shooting well. And Scotty's confused with Doug. He's like, what are you coming at me with this, Doug Smith, about me not shooting well? He's like, I try to shoot as well as I can. And honestly, I just want to make winning plays. And this is true. Darko said we can afford to have Scott not shoot well and be out on the court because he's going to do all kinds of other things to be helpful to our team. And that he cares more about that. I mean, it's important for Scott to score sometimes, but with people like Brandon Ingram showing up, this may be even less important because in some ways, Scotty can, on a night-to-night basis, not carry us offensively, but do all the other things he does so well: passing, rebounding, blocking, stealing, defending, running the team, coaching the team on the court, making free throws, making turnarounds when he has to. But for the most part, that's true. Darko's right. Scotty's the kind of player, he's so good that he could be bad offensively and absolutely helping us to win still. And that was the point that Darko had, but Doug Smith don't get it. Doug Smith is kind of hammer this home on Scott in the interviews, like, yeah, but when you're not shooting well at the beginning of the game, it's like, Scotty's like, no, I ain't having this. Don't question. He said basically, don't ever question. He said, don't ever question whether I'm having a winning effect on the game. I'm always trying to have a winning effect on the game. That's what he said straight up to Doug Smith in his foolish ass comments yesterday, shutting him down, setting him straight. That's right. Tell these seriously, Scott, you're a big time NBA player now. You don't have to be as respectful towards these press guys, especially when they ain't being respectful to you. So you go ahead and cuss them out. Not cuss them out, but tell them out off back. Because listen, all y'all have done it this year. The main guys, Darko's done it, RJ's done it, Emmanuel's done it. And well, you did it yesterday to Doug Smith, and I'm appreciative of it. Because seriously, these media guys, the way they write their questions sometimes is so convoluted, such bullshit. Some of them will try and trick you and trap you. They did that shit to you earlier in your career, Scott, when you weren't as savvy in the press room. Well, be like Emmanuel, be like RJ. When they're coming at you with some bullshit, get that garbage out of here. And just verbally tell them, yeah, this is bullshit. No, fuck that. And I love how IQ, RJ, Darko have all set the press straight to their faces in press conferences this year. In some ways, it makes the press conferences entertaining to see the Raptors put them in their place sometimes with their dumbass, asinine ass questions. You have the audacity to ask Darko Rajakovic about losing on purpose. You're going to get the answer you're going to get, you idiots. You're going to get that answer you're going to get. That's right. Gary Trent Jr. on my Instagram all of a sudden here. Always great to see my brother back. All-Star break, we back. He's in Atlanta and dapping some friend of his. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know why I'm covering Gary here. I don't know why. He has barely posted anything. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing Gary on my stream here. There's Garrett Temple has got a guy talking about times right now and evil getting its comeuppance. And he's talking about God and Christ in times like these. So Garrett Temple is giving guidance for Christians during tumultuous times like the ones that are happening in the United States right now. So I appreciate Garrett Temple being a leader in life, not just in the Raptors locker room. That's right. Jamal Shed showing his old haunting grounds, being back in Houston. There he is outside the athletic complex at University of Houston, a place that he's very familiar with. And then there he is in the wall inside, showing all the former Houston grads that are in the NBA right now. And that's a fantastic place. And then, boom, he's missed eating at American Deli, one of his favorite places to eat in Houston, I guess. So he went by there and got a deli sandwich or something like he would get from American Deli. I don't know. There are a lot of signs that in some ways Jamal is not going to totally be with us for his whole career. That in some ways he may kind of take off. I don't know. I don't want to believe that, but in some ways I don't know. In some ways he's been complaining about the weather up in Canada. And also now he's very much so happy and he missed his place of going to American Deli. Man, Jamal, come on now. Don't be too overt about things because I'll read the tea leaves. And right now there's signs showing that you won't be a long-term Raptor. So I want you to be a sconce with us. And I know that you're getting the best opportunity with Toronto right now and really honor and cherish that. And I know it's different. It's a different country. It's icy and snowy right now. But you know what, man? Listen, the potential for your career is much better up in Toronto for all kinds of different reasons. So don't screw that up. And you want to be long-term here because you want to be a legend like Fred, right? You want to be a legend like Fred. You got to put time in up here, man. That's what I'm saying. Raptors 905 Black Heritage jersey is on sale right now, guys. Go out and buy it. Supplies are limited. So if you want that 905 jersey they were rocking the other day, you need to go out and get it now. Black Heritage jersey available now at Real Sports. If you want it. Toronto Tempo stuff is all over the place. Of course, if you want that swag, you can get it. You can go get that Toronto Tempo swag. It's out there. The purple boxes are going out everywhere. Should I call them purple or burgundy or chartreuse or whatever? I don't know. I want to call it purple because it's just easier. So I know that y'all are saying that this is a red, but man, that's a purple. Come on now. That's a purple. Come on now. Lloyd was out walking in the snow last night in New York. Very pretty picture of snow out in New York of just beautiful, newly fallen snow. And that's what Lloyd's got going on there. Let's see. Is there anybody else? The Real Mo P has got a victory for Michigan State University. He's hugging his old coach, Coach Izzo. Yeah, huge congrats to our one-on-one legend. Thank you for an amazing night and for rolling out the green carpet. I love you, Spartan family. So Mo Pete was doing a Michigan State Spartans stuff last night with his former coach, Tom. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Good stuff there. And is that it? Oh, Jamal McGlure has got all kinds of stuff. He's now back with the Carabana and being one of the leaders of it. Toronto Revelers, get ready. There's all kinds of sign-up stuff for being a Toronto Reveler. And he's also got something about Black History Month. That's all on his Instagram stuff. So if you're interested in, I guess, becoming a Toronto Reveler, you could get in contact with Jamal McGlure and possibly be a part of the Carabana parade. That's what's going on with him on there. There's your Instagram stories real quick. Yeah, don't ask Scotty stupid questions, Doug Smith. Stupid questions get snappy answers. That's what I learned from Mad Magazine. Y'all remember that segment in Mad Magazine? Snappy answers to stupid questions. Oh, I love that magazine. I think part of the reason why I'm the way I am is because I was such a Mad Magazine guy when I was little. I learned about satire and goofiness a long, long time ago. That's right. That's right. All right, let's see. Stargate saying, remember, Ingram has never really been on a team that has a ball movement offensive system. Why did it jump right in the middle of that? That's annoying. Hang on. I got to find my place again. I was in the middle of reading the comment and it jumped like out, like all the way down to the bottom of the comments. I hate when it does that. I have my place and then I lose it completely. So, all right, hang on. I'll find it. I'm going to track it down right now. Okay, here we go. Stargate saying, remember, Ingram has never really been on a team that has a ball movement offensive system like Jama's, the offensive coordinators, has always been in ISO heavy systems. You know, I know you're giving credit to Jama for this, and I know he's kind of designated as the offensive coordinator, but this is Darko's system, man. You can't give this to Jama. This is Darko's system. This is Darko's offensive system. It's very much his craft. Now, Jama may have inputted on it with him, and he may specialize in this stuff, but don't get it twisted. The person who's in charge of what they're doing on offense is Darko, because in some ways that's his real bread and butter. He's not known as a defensive coach. And in some ways, you could make more light saying that Pat Delaney is doing more on the defensive end, because in some ways, that's not Darko's specialty. Darko's specialty is offense. And even though Jama is maybe taking care of it under the umbrella of the assistant coach, he's doing a lot of different duties. Let's not get it twisted. This is Darko's system. This is a good point, though. You know, we'll have to see. I think that Brandon, one of the best things about Brandon that I've found out about him since he's become a Raptor is that he's a basketball nerd, and that he really does get into theory and practical ideas to change, basketball ideas. He really gets under the hood. And Scotty's like this, Emmanuel's like this, RJ's like this, and he'll fit in real good. In some ways, you can have different levels of awareness on basketball. Some guys are just really talented, but they're stupid. And they're just innately talented and they can play. But some guys are smart and they're talented. And that's very powerful. Some guys are smart, but they're not talented. But they're very heady, but they're athletically just not that gifted. So that's the thing. If you have very athletically talented guys that are smart and they're basketball nerds, oh, look out. That's the kind of type we've been collecting on our team right now. We had a bunch of Vision 6'9" guys that weren't necessarily basketball smart, all of them. They were very physically talented and versatile all around, but not necessarily a high IQ kind of basketball theory kind of guys, like some of the guys we got now, like Jamal Shed, like IQ, like Scotty, like Brandon Ingram. So that's going to be interesting to see, like the way that they come up with stuff. And of course, the team's always changing. And who knows? Brandon Ingram might have ideas to add to the brain trust that are new wrinkles in the whole thing too. Because that's the other thing about Coach Darko, and this is why I give him credit for the offense, is that it is a work collective between everybody on the team. He's listening to his other coaches. He's listening to his players. And if they have good ideas, he's trying them. He's not the kind of guy who's like, the buck stops here and everything I say goes and nobody else has a say. No, he's listening to everybody on the team all the time. And that's probably part of the reason why he's going to be successful, is because he's not closed-minded to Brandon Ingram coming up to him, just came to the team and say, hey, coach, what if we did this and this? You say, you know what, Brandon? That's a great idea. Let's try it right now. That's a cool thing right there. I like that. Derps is saying, picture of Davion and his two trade buddies, New Jersey's new teams on clutch points. You know, he's a great fit there. He was a good fit with us too, though. But it is kind of this weird thing where, like, it seems like his skill set and his mentality is made for the Miami Heat, as much as I hate to say it. And they really do need that shot in the arm that he is. I wish we weren't playing them anymore for the rest of the season. I wish we played the rest of our Miami games already, because I don't want to play them now. I really don't. It is kind of lucky when you meet people during the season. You know, you get lucky chances when you play a team when they have half their team out or they're just in a bad place. That there really is some manipulation in that. Some teams may be in a really bad place, and the Celtics get an easier time against a top team because of that. I'm just saying that's kind of stuff happens. Derps is saying Wiggins wears Butler's number 22 right away. Andrew Wiggins is a Miami Heat. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I haven't really thought about that whole aspect of Andrew being in Miami yet. I really, really haven't. I really, really haven't. Smooth saying Wiggins seems pissed he's in Miami. That's interesting. I think that he really did like playing with Steph. I mean, he's a champion with the Warriors. That's always kind of a feel. When you leave a team that you're a champion on and you go somewhere else, sure, you're always an NBA champion, but it's different when you're like still traveling and playing for that team. You kind of hold it. That's part of the reason why they want to strip us of all of our champions on our team, is because they don't want us showing up. Raptors champion Fred VanVleet, Raptors champion OG Anunoby, Raptors champion Pascal Siakam. In fact, with the advertising for Siakam for the All-Star game next week, they don't mention the Raptors or Toronto anywhere in there. They'll say draft pick out of New Mexico State, and they'll just gloss over. They don't want to mention us if they don't have to. They'll act like Siakam's history with us didn't even exist, and they'll just say, "Oh, Siakam's a Pacers fan, a Pacers superstar." It's bullshit. It is what it is, but we know where these champions came from, and everybody knows where they got their chip. Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. So it is whatever. In some ways, that's why they want to strip us of all our champs. Well, that's why I'll fight to the end to keep Chris Boucher on our team, because he's the last one that can walk around saying, yeah, I was an NBA champion on the Raptors and I'm still on the team. They want to strip us of all those guys. That's part of the reason why they intensify the trade rumors around Chris, is because some of our haters see him as the last standing champion with us. And that's why Raptors fans that really love this team should support Chris staying on our team for the rest of his career. Honestly, I said it to him in his Twitch one day when he was playing Call of Duty. I said, Chris, you could be the Raptors' Udonis Haslem. I would love that to happen. Like Bobby Webster, seriously, if Chris will be on affordable contracts just to elongate his career with us, do it. Haslem his ass with us. Make him our Haslem forever. Seriously, he's good for locker room culture. He's good vet. He's a part of our linkage to our championship, and we want to hold on to that. And he's the last linkage. Sure, Jama's on the team again, but it's different. He left and came back and went and got a championship with the Warriors in between. Now, we want Chris to be a lifetime Raptor going forward from now. And I just want to see this. He had a little bit of his career in Golden State at the beginning, won a championship there. But I want Chris in a Raptors jersey for the rest of his career like Udonis Haslem did with Miami Heat. And even pay him extra. Garrett Temple his ass down the road. Seriously, I don't care if Chris is 36 and, something like that. If he can still get up and down the court and do something like Garrett Temple does for us right now, as far as being an old head and steady guy, and you've seen how Garrett did it, he can do the Garrett Temple role later, even if he doesn't play hardly at all. I would love that for Chris. Let's keep him in his Toronto as long as possible, because Scotty will be here too. And we know Scotty wants Chris around, is what I'm saying. So I'm not surprised if Wiggins is not happy to be in Miami. Seriously, change sucks. And in some ways, he's got to figure out his place in that roster with Tyler Hero and all the rest of them. Cool Cat saying, NBA surely reminded fans it's a business. Trades and players waived were ruthless this season. Billionaire owners not paying NBA players supermaxes, no qualms moving them out. Well, in some ways, I think there needs to be a balance to this. Because in some ways, look, the players have abused this to a degree. There's been so much sitting out, and these contracts are so crazy big, and the owners were stupid, and they gave contracts to people that they probably shouldn't have, and they're paying for it now. And I think the cautionary tale is with the new aprons and stuff is that you really can't be frivolous with your spending. You can't miss on paying a supermax to a player like Luka and them being not available because they're hurt all the time. So this is the weird way that it's going to manifest, is in cold business decisions like waves and trading players that should have gotten supermaxes, but they're going to another team to avoid it. Yeah. But that's in some ways a counterbalance to the players not totally fulfilling their end of the obligation to be there for the games that they're getting paid for. So I don't know. I'm always going to be on the side of the workers and against the owners. But I do think there's a little bit of correction that needs to happen with the players and how often they're showing up for games for the amount that they get paid. I think Joel Embiid is disgusting that he's paid so much money by the Sixers in his career, and he's only showed up for 47% of the games that he could have played in. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. A thing came out yesterday because people were talking about the Raptors won't be able to afford all of our starters now with Brandon Ingram in the fold. That's not true. Bobby said we actually have a lot of flexibility and we have this ability. A graph came out that shows all the teams' salary caps and where they are in the apron system, and the Raptors are right underneath the luxury tax and a really the optimal place to be in the whole entire graph. Yeah, sure. There's teams like the Celtics and the Suns and the Knicks. They're way down there, totally spent out near the second apron. But Bobby's right. We have a lot of flexibility. We do not have a crazy salary cap. We have a very flexible one, and we do have the ability to pay these people this money. Bobby cited the ad revenue from the TV deals. It's going to change everything, and we should be able to fit everybody in. So everybody's worried about us not being able to keep RJ, Emmanuel, Scotty, and Brandon and everything. Don't, because Bobby's got it figured out. And that graph coming out yesterday is a really easy visual way of looking at the Raptors franchise position in the apron system that's currently under the NBA. We're in a really good spot, like seriously. And they're so masterful of it because we're literally just below, we're maximizing just below the luxury tax. And we will probably go into it and have to pay a little bit into it, but there's a possibility that they can do all the little moves with the flexibility of Brandon waiving his trade thing that he did when he came here. That may give us enough leeway to be able to bounce underneath it and really do things smart. But don't get twisted. Don't be worried about the Raptors spending money on Brandon Ingram. We can make it all fit, guys. We can make it all fit. Yeah. Kareem saying NFL is king, by the way. And if you don't care for the game of halftime show, at least enjoy a Super Bowl party and the food. My wife and daughter love the food aspect, and my fucking son keeps placing bets. Yeah, I'm not going to get involved in all this. I mean, that's Americana. That's kind of like, you're supposed to like this and this if you're a good American. Some people say, well, Lex, you don't like beer and you don't like hockey. Are you a good Canadian? Well, some people may question that because it's true. I don't like beer and I don't like hockey. What the hell? You're not Canadian then, man. Well, this is stereotypes. And, people can be whatever they are. I'm still Canadian, even if I don't like hockey. Some people say, God forbid. Well, I'm a Canadian guy who grew up in the States and never played hockey. As a prairie, my family's from the prairie and the Scandinavia. And I'm 6'4", and I'm like very strong and muscular. Oh, I could have played hockey, but I never did, never got into it. So I don't know. I'm not doing jack shit for the Super Bowl. I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to a party. We have a party. It'll be the bunnies and the squirrels in the yard with me. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Let's see. Crazy capitalization. Like capitalizing on the Super Bowl, or somebody writing in caps in here. Too much caps. Did you write caps, Tristan Trey? That's what happened? You wrote in caps? Why are you yelling at me? There's the Smooth saying that halftime show. I wonder if the NFL will allow Kendrick Lamar to say the word, that word. Oh, I wonder. NFL fancies themselves family friendly and watch and league. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. I don't give a shit. They're going to talk about this halftime show. Kendrick Lamar takes jabs at Drake. I don't care. I don't even care if he's like going to make U.S. Canadian diplomatic affairs worse during the halftime show. Okay, Kendrick, you're not helping things in life. Used to be artists were for peace, love, and happiness, like John Lennon. But nah, you're going to be all about like starting a war between Canada and U.S. with your bullshit, Kendrick Lamar. Come on, man. Be smart. Be sensitive. Nobody needs violence. None of this bullshit. And some of your shit that's come out in the last couple of years, even though you beat Drake, I'm not going to argue with that, has been completely divisive and not helpful, negative, and toxic. And that's what I'll say. I am disappointed in you, Kendrick Lamar. There's other artists, your predecessors, the intelligent hip-hop artists of the past would use their platform for better statements and messages for social issues like Chuck D, like KRS-One. And in some ways, you're dropping the ball on this because you're being divisive with your music. And your little beef with Drake in the last year or so has been so stupid. And in some ways, it's been kind of, just doesn't look good on you. Everybody say you won and all this stuff. And sure, you got more pub because of this bullshit. But what cost is what I'm saying. And where are the artists that are like Boogie Down Productions and Public Enemy at this point? Seriously. Because Kendrick, you're supposed to be that artist. Honestly, that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Fiercey saying, question for you, Lex. With Brandon Ingram being represented by Clutch, how come Rich Paul of Clutch weren't mentioned in the trade? Are they more visible when players want to negotiate the contract? I don't know. In some ways, I would say this. All right. They could have said at any point in the press release he's represented by Clutch. It's not that important. Now, it could be like when Freddie's getting a big contract with Houston for like 45 million a year or something like that. Clutch wants their name associated with that because that looks good. It's like our client Fred just signed this new contract with the Houston Rockets for this amount of money. Our client Nick just signed this new contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, Clutch client. It's usually when they're signing contracts, they'll put the Rich Paul and the Clutch next to it. So I don't know. This is an interesting question. I don't know why. We just all know that he's a Clutch client. I guess they don't have to advertise it in the transaction because in some ways the contract has already been signed. Sure, Rich Paul, Clutch client. Brandon Ingram signs new contract this summer with the Raptors. I'm sure we'll see it then. So maybe it's just the action. It's a trade. It's not a signing. And that's the difference. Maybe. I don't know. Smith saying it's crazy that they allowed him to be the halftime show, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing puts past me anymore. I think it's crazy that they took the words "end racism" off the end line. I think that's the craziest thing, and absolutely shows that the NFL is a bootlicking fascist organization. And I'm not saying the NBA isn't either, because it is too. It is. Let's see. Tristan Trey saying, best thing about Scotty Barnes since my team is not in is the game is at 2:00. See, when you put SB, I'm not saying Super Bowl. The best thing about Scotty Barnes since the team is not in is the game is at 2. I like Scotty Barnes too. I don't know what he has to do with this comment, Tristan. You're going to put SB in there. It's Scotty Barnes. Sorry, it does not mean Super Bowl to me. Andrew saying, good morning, everyone. Andrew, Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year is back in the chat. Good to see Andrew back in the chat. I hope we can beat the Rockets today. I'm predicting a big game from Grady. I can't wait to eventually watch Brandon Ingram with this young core. Me too, man. I'm getting more and more stoked. In some ways, I'm having dreams about it already. I'm serious. This is the kind of shit that happens to the Raptors Freak. You may be sleeping at night thinking about the Raptors offense working magnificently. Well, I seen Brandon in my dream. And I seen him in a Raptors red jersey. And I can't wait either, Andrew. So good to see you back in the chat. He's saying still no Jakob and RJ, unfortunately. Yeah, and this is going to short stack us. And it is likely we'll lose. 80% chance the Rockets will win is what ESPN's saying this morning. Derps is saying, yeah, I like the Spurs back in the day with Soulbox. Laugh out loud. You like the Spurs back in the day with Soulbox? Soulbox? What's Soulbox? What's Soulbox? Soulbox? Soulbox. Are you trying to Soulbox? What's Soulbox? Spurs back in the day. I love the Spurs. I was a big Spurs fan for a long time. I was a Spurs fan before the dynasty. I've been a Spurs fan since the Admiral showed up for San Antonio. Before the Raptors existed, I was a Spurs fan. My two teams back in the day, first was Detroit and San Antonio in the 80s. And then the Magic came in 89 and overtook Detroit Pistons as my favorite team. And the Bad Boys had just ended, right? The Bad Boys ended, and I was still a fan of the Pistons, but the Magic were my new market team, and they were brand new. And I just fell in love with the Orlando Magic in the very beginning years because I was in Florida, and that was the games I watched all season. But the Spurs have been consistently my Western Conference team, my whole entire NBA fandom since the 80s. And man, I've been so happy to see the what's happened for them with 5 championships. Every time they won the championship, I was rooting and celebrating with them. So when the Spurs win championship, Raptor Freak is very happy. He smiles real big. And Wembayama is awesome. That's what I say right here. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Daniel Berry's here. Good morning, Daniel. How are your sports highlights doing on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday? Are your any of your highlights NFL today? Yeah, no NFL highlights here, my guy. For me, Andrew saying the defense with Davion Wiggins and Bam should be pretty good. I'm happy for Davion. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not wishing anything good for Miami. And like I said, I wish we weren't going down there to play them a couple times still. In some ways, I really wish we weren't, because that would have been nice if they front loaded the Miami Heat games. Not that I think they're going to be that any much more better. I think that it'll be different. In some ways, Jimmy not being there is a loss. Let's not get it twisted. He's been a really important part of them and their success in recent years. But it'll be interesting to see with the new cast and what they do and the distraction gone. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, let's see. Derps is saying Game of Zones is where Soulbox is from. Oh yeah. Yeah, right. Right. When we did the trade on Game of Zones and there was a big dinosaur egg and Jakob had to get into it. It's weird, man. It's such a weird episode. And like Kawhi's a walker, a North White Walker. And he has, yeah, it's crazy. The Soulbox. That's right. That's what that's from. Yeah, and Popovich. They're all like zombies. They're like the North, from the North in Game of Thrones. The White Walkers. That's who the Spurs were in that thing. And it's so hilarious when Jakob gets into the egg with DeMar to go to San Antonio. It's very strange. It's a weird show. I love that show, except I hate it too because they didn't show us winning. They stopped writing the show when the Raptors won the championship because they couldn't write the season with us winning because they choked us out with that stupid ass chalice thing with Drake taking the mask off and it was LeBron and Kyle Lowry's choking. It's such a fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. They couldn't show our victory on Game of Zones and give it the proper treatment. Those cowards for fucking Nets fans that made that show. They fucking hate us so much. They couldn't do that. Yeah. Yeah. Mike saying, oh no, Lucky has died. Laugh out loud. Game of Zones. Hey, good to see Logical Raptors fanatic. Project Truth always, Mike. Keep coming out with the shorts. I caught up on all your shorts on Friday and watched them all in a row. And man, I love the new format. And I just want you to turn your volume up, man. In some ways, your volume's a little low on some of them. But otherwise, man, I love the little quick little come in, say what you got to say on things. And I want to hear more reactions from you and more clarifications about salary cap and front office stuff because it's so helpful. And you do such a good job of explaining things in simple terms for everybody to understand. So, Mike, salute to you. And yeah, I'm going to give you a dunk just for coming back and doing content. And, I really appreciate you doing that. Seriously, it's so helpful for me to learn, honestly, for me to learn, not just everybody else, me also. Let's see. Stargate saying apparently Miami is not as desirable place to play as we all may believe. Some players are comparing it to being incarcerated playing time. Well, this was part of the problem with the fallout with Jimmy is apparently Pat Riley is a drill sergeant and he's crazy. And he's made the Heat practice for like 8 hours straight in the past. Like seriously, crazy shit like that. It really is like a boot camp. And it all falls under the umbrella of Heat culture. Well, some of it's a little fucking crazy. Let's just put it that way. And, if they're not winning and it's kind of toxic around, and especially with a leader like Jimmy on there, things can fall apart real quick. All the wheels fall off. And if they if they have a leadership void right now on the team with Jimmy gone and they got new guys coming in, they're trying to feel it out. And maybe they're seeing how Heat culture is. I mean, Davion's going to eat it up. He'll love it. But Andrew Wiggins may not. Andrew Wiggins may not eat up Heat culture. He may be like, yeah, I'm not at the stage in my career that I want to be doing things like this and way you guys do these things. So we might have to see if Andrew Wiggins is going to be in Miami for long. I know that Heat fans are really happy he's there. And he's the kind of player like Davion that they wanted to have on their team. But it may not be a good fit if we're hearing things that Andrew doesn't seem pleased to be there. And we do know it's a crazy ass boot camp where they make people do crazy ass shit in Miami to fit into Heat culture. That's what I'm saying. That's been part of the conflict. Jimmy Butler saying recently that he'll someday tell his side of the story about what happened with the Miami Heat. And he'll tell specifically to one person, and that's Shaq. And the reason why he wants to talk to Shaq about his tell-all, about his experience in the Miami Heat, is because Shaq has a similar experience with the Heat because he played for them and had a falling out with Pat Riley also in a similar way. So that's part of the reason why he's designated Shaquille O'Neal as the person who's going to get the Barbara Walters interview is what I should say. The Barbara Walters video, the interview is going to be with Shaq when he finally tells all what happened with the falling out with Pat Riley. So it'd be interesting to see. Yeah. Derps is saying that a Notorious BI3 seems like it could catch on. Yeah, I think it will. I think it will. I think it has legs. I think you guys are right. It just seems like it fits right because it's got the BI and the 3, and he's notorious and he's cool, and it's kind of a cool name. I think that it fits. I think it fits really well, actually. So I think it probably will stick. Mischief saying there's a street in Toronto called Ingram Drive off Keele Street. Yeah, I know that street. I used to live off Keele. Yeah. Well, there's probably a street for almost every name in Toronto. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, there is a Kyle Lowry Way. right? What is the coincidence of that? Why would the name be Kyle? Oh, wait. Anyway, let's see. Stargate saying Notorious BI3. He's voting for that. That's right. Andrew saying a lineup of Grady, Mobo, BI, Scotty, and IQ would be numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, 4 and 5. Yeah, it would be. We could do that lineup. IQ would be the point guard. Grady be the shooting guard. Brandon would be the small forward, and Scotty would be the 4, and Mobo would be the undersized 5, like he probably will be tonight. Or today, I should say. Smooth saying, I think they might have asked the late Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. Biggie Smalls, his family to use the word notorious in the nickname. I could see that, but let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of different people that have made up goofy hybrid nicknames off of Notorious B.I.G., and they haven't had any problems, I don't think. But maybe if the state of Notorious B.I.G. is litigious, and they want to go and harass people for this, they might, but I don't know. I don't know if this is actually something that they'd have to worry about if the statement is different. That copyrights are weird. And if they're using just the word notorious, it's not like they have the copyright of the word notorious, I don't think. So I don't know if this would be a problem, actually, Reggie, but it could be. You might be actually very right. I know that with Jimi Hendrix, his family is very, very, very careful about all things associated with his legend and his career and his life. And Prince, same thing. Think about how Prince and the way things have gone since he died with his family and releasing more music. And they've been in a whole thing about documentaries for him, and they're very controlling about it. So it could be this way, but I could also see it where they have no rights to adjudicate on this also, especially if it's not exactly Notorious B.I.G., but it's Notorious BI3. It rhymes even. That's amazing. Mike is saying, how about B-Rex? Like a T-Rex, but B-Rex? I don't know. I don't know why, but yesterday I was watching Dino Riders, guys. Yeah, the old Saturday morning cartoon. And in the episode, there were 2 Tyrannosaurus Rex that were wreaking havoc on the Dino Riders world. And the Dino Riders would put things on dinosaurs' heads to control them. It's so weird. It's such a weird cartoon, man. Y'all watch Dino Riders? You know what I'm talking about, man. But those T-Rexes were a problem in that episode I watched, man. They were ripping everything up. They're like, oh no, here comes the T-Rexes. And they come into the village of the Dino Riders live in, and they just stomp everything. Ah! So they get their good dinosaurs to fight the T-Rexes. The T-Rexes were the bad guys. Listen, I can talk Dino Riders on a Raptors Freak stream because that's dinosaur related. Come on now. Dino Riders is perfectly fair to talk about. All right, let me keep going. All right, Trevor J saying IQ looks like he's a big fan of Ingram. I feel like there's a natural connection with these guys because honestly, in some ways, they're from the same region of the United States. They really are. Baltimore, Maryland's not that far from UNC, from NC, North Carolina. And that mid-Atlantic area of the world is got a lot of commonalities. Somebody like Allen Iverson knows from that area also. I believe he's a North Carolina guy or like a South Carolina. He's somewhere around there. Maybe he's Maryland. I'm not totally sure. But everybody like that is like that. And Muggsy, he brought this up on the interview with him and Scotty Barnes for Subway, saying, yeah, I'm from Baltimore. I'm tough. Well, Emmanuel's from Baltimore. He's tough too. And Brandon's from the hard knock streets in the trenches of North Carolina. And that's a regional a commonality between those guys, the mid-Atlantic boys between Brandon and Emmanuel. They're a little bit of mid-Atlantic connection right there. That's what I'm saying. This old Crockett country, old Greensboro Coliseum and NWA 80s, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes country. That's right. That's what I'm talking about right there. Old Crockett country there. Yeah. Derps is saying NBA media are the opposition, the ops. It depends. Some of them are very on our side and trying to help from within. Seriously, Isaiah Thomas is like that. He's in the middle there trying to help the Raptors still as the original president of our team. Charles helps some. Kendrick Perkins is trying to help here and there too. I don't know. They're not all ops. There's some of them that do give us a fair shake, but very few of them. Very, very few. CH is here. Good to see a new name in the chat. Every morning I'm doing Raptors talk every single day for about 2 hours. at 9:30 in the morning. And I thank you for your subscription. I hope you'll join us more with more comments. And I hope you're still here to see me respond to your comment. Scotty plays good when better players are around in relation to RJ and hopefully BI. It's totally true. I mean, it's so dumb that at some point in the NBA, they were absolutely allowed to say to teams, oh, this is too many people on your team and somebody has to go. That was never the way for the Celtics in the 60s when they won every single damn championship that decade. They had a super team. They had all this talent. So this has never been an issue. And every time somebody says, oh, you can't have all those guys, you can't afford all those guys, I think, fuck you. That is kind of like big market teams talking to little market teams trying to tell them they can and can't do this shit. That's annoying. The Lakers can spend out of their ass. The Knicks can spend out of their ass. Why can't the Raptors spend out of their ass sometimes and afford to keep everybody here? More talent means more better stuff around. And even if that talent doesn't fit, well, that talent is a great trade chip to get the right talent in return that will fit. But talent is talent. And if you draft the best talented person in the lottery this year, Raptors, and they don't totally fit with what we're doing, well, trade the talent that makes the best sense to get the pieces that will help you, just like a Rudy Gay trade. And you get some role players off the bench like Chuck Hayes and John Salmons and Patrick Patterson, Gravis Vasquez. So I'm with you, CH. The more talent we surround Scotty with, the more that he has shown that the front office is very serious about winning and building a contender around him. And I'm with you. CH, great first comment. Good to see you. Andrew's saying most Raptors media people aren't very good aside from some of the younger ones. It's a mixed bag. I won't say it's by age, really. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Doug Smith. I really do. In some ways, I understand he's one of the most important journalists of the Raptors history in the whole entire 30 years. He really is. And in some ways, I have to respect that. But he's also been an asshole to them and sometimes really stupid, like the interview with Scotty yesterday. But in some ways, you know, if I had to choose in the end, Doug Smith is somebody I stand up for and support because he is a huge part of our culture and our history. Even if I don't agree with some of the things he writes about or says, he is somebody that I respect to a degree because he is the guy who's taken down the history of our team. And, you know, I hate Grange. In some ways, I have a really hard time liking Grange in any kind of way. Lewinberg, you know, mostly like, but they're all different cases. Some of those youngsters are horrible too. Let's not get it twisted. Aaron Rose is absolutely horrible. And so is Lascaris. But Samson Folk, Orrin Weisfeld, where the hell has he been? I haven't seen anything from Orrin Weisfeld in forever. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I left X and he's not on Blue Skies. I don't know. He's somebody that I haven't heard from at all. Is he even covering the Raptors at this point? Did he get hired for something bigger? I know he's also writing books. But yeah, he's a good one. Samson Folk, he's a good one. There's a couple in there, you know, that are around they're pretty good, you know. All right, let's keep going. Derps is saying probably NHL people pretend to be NBA reporters. Laugh out loud. That's part of it. That's part of it. Some of the, especially the early days of the Raptors, none of the reporters knew basketball, and their questions reflected it. They asked some of the stupidest questions, honestly. And being a kid who grew up in America and was very versed with the NBA, it was cringe for me to watch some of the stuff around the early expansion Raptors because I knew the NBA really well in '95 before we even had a team. And seeing the press, how stupid they were with some of the questions and just having to learn the game basically in the '90s was absolutely cringe. And that's part of the reason why they thought we were a joke is because we had no knowledge of the sport or the league for a while there. And it was like mainstream people that were covering it didn't have the knowledge. That's crazy, let alone the fans. So, yeah, it was crazy back then, man. Yeah, you smell hockey, entity, influence. It is what it is. It's easy boogeyman to blame for a lot of the stuff that happens with the Canadian media. It is. And I'm not saying that it's a conspiracy theory. I think it's very real. It's just it's easy for us to just kind of dump anything that happens negatively to, oh, Hockey Canada hates us. I do, you know, say that too. All right, we're almost at 10 minutes to 2 hours. All right, I want to see how far I can go real quick here. All right, no more comments. Give me the cutoff. I know Mo is not here, So in some ways, I'm going to need you guys to be controlling of your comments, and so I can get out of here in a decent time. I don't want to go over 2.5 hours. How about that? Ninja saying, morning, Lex and Raptor Free crew. Just bought my tickets to the game versus Sixers on Tuesday. Well, I hope you can get down there and help root the team to victory in enemy lines at the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia on Tuesday. Yeah, this is such a sketchy 2-game series. Think about if the Sixers had actually been who they're supposed to be all year. This is a power pack back-to-back, Philly and then Cleveland at home. I circled this at the beginning of the season as a fucked up back-to-back right away. And I knew this was a special game, the Cleveland game too, at that time. That, why can't we be fresh for the Vince Carter Dunkiversary? We got to be on a back-to-back coming from Philadelphia the night before. It sucks. Nins, bring that Raptor Freak energy to the game, but be careful. I don't want you to be in trouble with anybody in the arena. I'm sure you'll be fine, but I wish you all the best, and I'm glad you're going to the game and you're representing us. Derps is saying Shed took some vitamin D and locked in. Take some vitamin D and lock in. That's what your advice is for him if he's living in cold climate. I'm with you. So he's saying Heat Nation is so pissed. It's funny, actually. Yeah, well, in some ways, what happened to them is a smaller scale Luka move. Because Jimmy, in some ways, he embodied Heat culture for a couple years there. They really loved him. And he really kind of was Heat culture, like the embodiment of it. And Luka was so integral to the identity of the Mavericks. It's a similar thing. Not on the full scale of Luka Doncic, but it's a similar kind of void. And Heat fans could be very similar to like Mavs fans in some ways right now. Very much so. They deserve it. Okay, I like that too. They're saying that Wiggins, Mitchell, and Anderson are mid. Well, Heat fans are jerks. They're going to be like that. They're really going to be like that. They're like West Coast Laker fans, honest. I mean, they're like East Coast Laker fans. Seriously, Heat Nation's got so many similarities to Laker Nation. And, well, they trash and they're toxic towards their players immediately. They're going to call their own players they just got mid. Oh, Heat Nation. You never change. You cocky, sorry sons of bitches. Yeah. Let's see. Andrew's saying, to be fair, Mitchell and Anderson are very mid. Ha, ha, ha. Andrew's saying that it is true, though. But Wiggins isn't. I don't know. Wiggins is kind of mid, too, honestly, guys. I know that y'all want to give Wiggins, like, godlike status, but I've never done that with him. In some ways, I like Wiggins. I like him. But in some ways, also, I don't know. His career has been so confusing to me in some ways. His career has been very confusing to me. Kareem saying, my personal nickname for Ingram is Half Baked for obvious reasons. Okay. That film was filmed in Toronto, guys. I don't know if y'all know that. Dave Chappelle, great movie, Half Baked. Yeah, with Harlan Williams and them. Yeah, Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer. What the fuck happened to him, man? Where the fuck did he go? Seriously. Crazy. Mischief saying, NBA fans saying Luka Doncic trade is a scam. I'd rather see OKC or Cleveland win a championship. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on OKC. Not so much on Cleveland. But, yeah, I don't want the NBA to script right. Like, there was a couple years ago where I was like, the Lakers, they really want the Lakers versus the Celtics in the finals, and they made it happen. And I was like, oh, this is totally script writing. And then there's, like, you can see where they script write stuff all the time. And Luka's a script writing. I don't want to see them script write the champions, though. That's the thing. I love it when the NBA is not easy to predict. I love it when somebody who they didn't think was going to win wins, like us in 2019. I don't like it when the Celtics just win the championship like last year or bullshit happens like this. So, yeah, I want to see the Thunder win. I want to see a team that isn't necessarily an NBA darling or absolutely what they would write the script for win this year in the championship. I don't want to see the Celtics repeat. I don't want to see the Lakers win. God forbid that. So, yeah, anybody else other than them, and probably not the Knicks either. I don't want to see the Knicks win either. But, yeah, and not Philly for goddamn sure. No, not Philly. Those four teams never win. New York, LA, Boston, and Philadelphia. I don't want any of those four teams to win ever. Ever. No more championships. That's what I say. Anybody else can win. Anybody else in the league. Maybe not Cleveland this year, though. Slim Reefer. You want Slim Reefer? That's actually not bad. Slim Reefer. I don't know if that's a family friendly nickname that the Raptors could use, though. Slim Reefer. That's pretty good. Kareem is on today. Seriously, he is on, man. He is on. Let's see. Smooth saying, considering Kyle Anderson was supposed to have been traded to the Raptors before Masai came to his senses and decided to get Brandon Ingram instead. I don't think that they were either or. I think they could have done both. It could have worked out that we could have gotten Kyle Anderson because there was some sort of exemption that we could have used to get him. And what I'd heard was the exemption was going to expire at the trade deadline anyway, and we were going to use it just at the last second because we weren't trading anything in return for Kyle Anderson. We were just going to take him off their books to help them have flexibility, and we didn't have to give anything back to Miami, and he would have just came here. So I don't think that it was an either or. I think that we could have done the Brandon Ingram trade with the Anderson thing too. It's just that it didn't happen. That little wrinkle didn't happen. And it could very well be that Spoelstra and Riley realized they needed Anderson just to keep roster filled because they didn't want too much going out. And they may have need him. Oh, we might actually need him on the team. So let's not do this move. We don't have to. In some ways, it's helpful and advantage to us. But it's also helping the Raptors on the download too by giving them a player for nothing. And they're getting to use their exemption too. So there may have been some strategy that nixed that little wrinkle to the Jimmy Butler trade in the end because it was part of the trade. It was there. And that's why they reported it falsely during our game the other day because it was supposed to happen, but it never actually came through because is an optional part of the trade. There's an optional part. Yeah. Stargate saying it's almost like the reporters are deliberately trying to gaslight these players and coaches, make them uncomfortable and become disgruntled. For sure. They've had their part in driving people out of the city. Before, when our front office wasn't on top of things like Richard Petty and fucking Rob Babcock and their bullshit, players were on their own island, and the communication with the front office was not as direct and so every day and on the same page as it is under Masai. And that actually can be true for most of the league, guys. That's why we need to value Ujiri and Webster, is because they have a really good trust with the players where this kind of stuff doesn't get out of control, like Vince happened in the middle of the 2000s. The lack of communication and talking to Vince was a huge part of why Vince Carter had to go to New Jersey in that stupid confusion. So the lesson from that is Masai keeps in touch with these guys and keeps them in track of everything that's going on. You know, now the press had their part back in the day. They'd ask pointed questions to Vince and Tracy and everybody involved around that time, and they were not helping things. They were making it more murky. And then specifically Doug Smith absolutely made the Vince Carter situation way worse with the way he was reporting things for the Toronto Star. So, yeah, this is totally true. The reporters can make things more toxic and pull things apart with their bullshit in the media sessions. They totally can. But because we're smarter in the front office, we keep everybody together and on the same page. They can't do this as effectively as they could in the age of the early 2000s when our franchise was not doing this. They didn't know what they were fucking doing to a degree. They admit it. Glenn Grunwald, Richard Petty, they admit they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So that's a lesson our franchise had to learn. And Masai has learned all the lessons of his predecessors, and he's safeguarded against them. And that's one of them right there. Yeah, they'll try and do that. I love when they come back at them, the reporters. Yeah. Smooth saying, remember, the Raptors were supposed to be the fifth team in that trade before they pulled out. It's not that we pulled out. It's that it just didn't end up doing it. I bet you Bobby Masai would have done it, but Miami maybe changed their mind right the last second and just didn't do that little optional part at the end. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Andrew's saying, I'm happy that Brandon actually wants to be here, man. He might be one of the best players ever that wanted to actually play for us. I think this is totally accurate. I think Andrew's right. You know, in some ways, Vince, you know what? He showed his true colors. I can't say that you wanted to actually play here. You've honored your part in Raptors history, but in some ways, you shit all over it with your loving your villainous part of your career afterwards. And in some ways, you know, the long-term thing is, Vince, you didn't want to be here. You can say you wanted to be here in the end, but fuck you. You did not want to be here at some point. And that's just the damn truth. Chris Bosh didn't want to be here too. And that's just how it is. Now, those guys are some of the higher level guys. Kawhi didn't want to be here because he went to Clippers as soon as he won a championship with us. Idiot. And well, Brandon Ingram on that spectrum of things, you know, Scotty, he may be the most important, most talented player in the history of the NBA that has wanted to be a Raptor. Brandon Ingram may be second. Let's just put it that way. I'm not ready to put Brandon above Scott. I think Scotty's that kind of talent that he's going to be a more important and bigger player in the history of the NBA than Brandon Ingram will be. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right, Andrew. He's one of them. He's one of the best players to ever want to be here. That's right. Smooth saying Kyle Anderson on the Raptors would mean no Ingram. Wow. No, I don't think that's true. I think, once again, guys, what I just described was that the exception that ran out, it was an exception we got from Indiana with the Pascal trade, ran out on the trade deadline, and we could have gotten it done just before and actually utilized extra money that we had that we didn't actually get to use, is what that Kyle Anderson stuff would have been. All right, just so y'all know. Derps is saying, well, no, Boucher still get BI probably. What are you saying? Boucher still gets BI probably? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. That's weird. That's weird. Stargate saying, I stand corrected, Lex. It is Darko's offense. Jama's just managing it, so to speak, but it's definitely Darko's system. I think that it's a collaborative effort, but we need to give credit to Darko at the top, specifically for the offense, because he's so engaged in running it from the sideline too. Like I would say that, you know, the way Nick used to coach, if he had an offensive coordinator underneath him that was somebody like Jama, they were probably running the offense more under Nick because he was such a lazy coach sitting on the sidelines kind of watching and not as engaged. And that I could see that, but not with Darko. He's just so on top of everything and so engaged and interacting in the game that he is absolutely running the offense. Absolutely. And if he isn't, we're seeing Scotty and Emmanuel do it on the court, and they're doing a good job. Yeah. I mean, it's not that you're standing corrected. He's designated as the offensive coordinator, but I think that we got to give more credit the whole big picture because the offense has been such a huge change from Nurse to Rajakovic. We got to give more credit to him. Let's see. Andrew's saying Pat Riley asked Butler a little while ago who he thinks the most talented player in the league is, and Butler said Andrew Wiggins. So Pat Riley, is this some sort of weird game? He's like, okay, well, I'm going to trade you to get him. That's weird, man. That's weird. Kareem saying Magnum BI. I'm showing my age with that one. Magnum BI is not bad. Man, Kareem, you're really on it today. Seriously, you need to go find an open mic today. Seriously. I don't know if there's like an open mic, Super Bowl halftime party somewhere where you go and do open mic during the halftime or something like that. You need to do this. You are on today. Seriously. If you were playing basketball, man, you're going to get like 50 today. You're dropping 50. This guy's got that vibe right now, man. Magnum BI. I don't want to do this because I've already showered you with dunks today, but I am going to give you another one for this crazy ass Magnum BI. Yes, I'm an old head that knows this reference and is totally with it. 30. You got the Ochai Agbaji, man. You're at 30 now. You got 10 dunks for the season, and 3 of them were today. Crazy. Wow. Bullseye BI. Bullseye. That's got the name of another team in there, Mike. I would say that. Magnum BI is better. Fiercely saying, Kareem, guess we're in the same age bracket. W stream, Lex, and thanks in advance for the explanation in reference to Brandon. No problem, Fiercey. That is one of the goals of this channel, is to make a more positive, informed fan base for the Toronto Raptors franchise, and information is something that I disseminate on this channel. That's right. So I'm very happy to do that. That's right. Yeah. So you know about Tom Selleck as Magnum BI. Dun, 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 Magnum, bring back the Ferrari, Magnum. What are you doing, Magnum? Oh, Higgins, Magnum. What are you doing, Magnum? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, fuck. Dun, 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 dun. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Dun, na, na, na. Dun, na, na, na. I'm gonna use up my last couple minutes of the 2 hours on the Magnum PI theme. Magnum BI, Lex. Magnum BI. I don't want to have a Magnum BI. That I might have to see my proctologist. No, I don't need no Magnum BI. Cool Cat saying, Lex, the contract value also indicates the owners are making way more billions than the labor of the players.
No, I agree with this. But I'm not just thinking about the owners. I'm thinking about the coaches, the GMs, the teammates, and the fans. And too many of these young players coming in, get these albatross contracts and screwing up a team's ability to win in the new cap system. So no, I am very anti-owners and billionaires, and those people are assholes and toxic. And I am for the players, but there is a contract that both sides have to fulfill. And I'm just saying, some players have abused this. And it's got to the point where, in some ways, the reaction and the change in the way that front offices are going to do business is they're going to suss these guys out more, not just for whether they stay healthy. Are they in their head right as far as staying in the game? Are they buying in? Are they trying hard in their NBA career? Or are they just collecting checks? Because there's a lot of jokers that have been coming to the NBA and just wanting to get there and collect checks, and they're not putting in the work. And, well, that may change. It may be that talent and working hard is absolutely necessary. And the guys who just had talent who showed up, they're not finding the league anymore because talent is rising all around the world. And to make the best league in the world, you can't just be absolutely talented. You got to have your head on straight to work hard after you get paid a lot of money too. Because there's a lot of these jokers coming in the league, getting paid, and they're sitting on their ass and they're not trying to do anything with their career after they got paid. And that's the thing I'm talking about, Cool Cat. Don't trust me. I'm on the workers' side. All workers unite everywhere in all kinds of ways, unionize. But I have to also say that it's been abused to a degree by some of the players abusing it. And that's the equality of it. You're saying Reaper of the North? I don't know. I still like Kingram of the North. Kingram of the North sounds better because it's taken an old nickname of his that's Kingram. It's King on front of his last name, Kingram of the North. You just say he's Kingram of the North now, the notorious BI3. Yeah, I like those two the best so far. Slim Raptor. I think that we stay away from any kind of nicknames that are alluding to Kevin Durant. That'd be better. I think that'd be better. Let's let Brandon have his own. When they call RJ Maple Mamba, that's nice because Kobe's a legend, and that's a really big compliment. Maple Mamba, Maple Jordan for Andrew Wiggins. That's a huge compliment. That's Michael Jordan. Slim Raptor is not necessarily a compliment because Kevin Durant's legacy is all fucked up, guys. He really is. And I in some ways, I don't want him to associate himself with Durant, other than he plays like him similarly in some ways, sure. But in some ways, his nickname don't have to be a wish version of a Kevin Durant nickname, is what I'll say. Yeah. T dot B dot T dot B dot R2D2 beep boop bop boop beep boop T dot beep bop. I'm not making fun, Mike. I'm just riffing. You know how I am, man. I'm crazy. B Ice. Yeah, he's like the lead singer of Cypress Hill, right? B Ice. Stoned is the way of the walk. Man, I gotta get this stream over because we're gonna have a game at 2:00, man. Nako saying, I don't think Wiggins is long for me, Miami. Bad, it's bad. Nako the Nacho, I love you, Gerald. You don't think Wiggins is long for Miami? That might be true. I think what y'all are saying is very interesting. Stargate saying, Lex, we have the same exact favorite teams: Pistons, Magic, Spurs, and now Raptors. I was a huge Bad Boys fan, a huge Penny fan, and a huge Tim Duncan fan. That's crazy. Well, that informs a lot. It really does. Yeah, I got into the NBA in the mid 80s, and it really was Magic and Larry and the Pistons and Michael Jordan that were the reasons why I started watching. Those four things right there: Isaiah, Magic, Michael, and Larry. They were the ones who got me into it. It really got entranced with the Magic versus Larry stuff. And then Michael Jordan just was like, woo, I was a part of that huge group that just got into the NBA in the 80s because of those guys. Yeah, I'm a huge Tim Duncan fan. I was a really big David Robinson fan before, though. He was one of my favorite players. My favorite players in like 1988 or 89, we'll say 89, were like Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, David Robinson, and Isaiah Thomas. Those were like my four favorite players in the whole league. And Charles Barkley was probably fifth. Seriously. So we're saying Mitchell was a nice player for the Raptors, professional. He had no role going forward, though. He doesn't have a jump shot. Jamal's showing much more. Yeah, I don't know. He's got
he's got a role that's very good and useful. I like having specialized kind of players on your team. I like having that kind of look because then you know the effect they're going to give you in the game. And that's why I thought he was so valuable, because his effect is really valuable. Like Davion's effect is really valuable. I could get over him not being the best offensive player because he just has a certain effect. And in some ways, he's a perfect championship piece for a championship team because he doesn't have to be a starter. He could be a defensive guard off the bench, specialty role for a championship team that absolutely excels and does huge things to help a team win. He's like a Bruce Brown in that way. He's a championship piece. And, on a bad team, yeah, in some ways that's not good. But if he's on a really good team, he can really help them. Really, really help them. All right, I'm going to get the classic card very soon, Trevor. 10 minutes over my cutoff. Mischief saying it's amazing how Bobby and Masai made the triple barbecue right under the luxury tax with all the trades. I'm looking forward to 2 p.m. Raptors versus Houston game today. That's right. We do have a game today. It's 2 o'clock. The Rockets have played in the last 24 hours. They should be very tired after losing to the Mavericks and Dallas yesterday and coming straight into this second day of a back-to-back. Yeah. Yeah. Having this happen underneath the luxury tax, absolute masterful work. Really understand the economics of running an NBA team, our front office. And once again, trusting Bobby Masai, y'all, every time around trade deadlines, y'all get the ammunition to support our front office against the idiots that hate them because of things like Brandon Ingram. That's all I got to say right there. And people that don't understand why our front office is so good, well, did you see what they just did last week in getting Brandon Ingram on our team for nothing, really? For nothing, honestly. Mike saying the Lakers have no center again. Yeah. It's almost like ball don't lie. The basketball gods out there are rejecting them getting a center, just like missing a free throw for a technical they didn't deserve. That's right. That's the same damn shit. That's right. Andrew saying, I saw Mark Williams has been so injured. He's missed almost 65% of available games. I don't think you could cancel a trade like 3 days after the deadline. Laugh out loud. You can if they fail their physical. That's part of the whole thing is like the players have to clear physicals for the trade to be official. And this guy didn't clear the physical with the Lakers, so they rescinded the trade, nixed it, and Dalton Connect is a Laker once again. It's crazy. Awkward. CH is saying that Jimi Hendrix' stepsister, who he only met once, is a money grabber, releasing repackaged garbage while withholding the real goods. Don't get me started about Janie Hendrix. Yeah, I've seen the stuff online, the Hendrix Foundation. Of course, they had a big part in developing the Hendrix Experience Museum in Seattle, Washington, that I've been to. It's a beautiful, beautiful building that the architect that built the building cut up guitars into different pieces and put them together as the building. And then they made it like that. It's a bunch of cut up pieces of guitars is the structure of the building. It's an amazing building. And it's a cool place. It's a really cool place, but they are real sticklers and very meticulous over a thing. And that's sad that it's somebody that wasn't that close to him that's kind of taking the rights. This is a similar thing to Bob Ross, y'all. Y'all know that Bob Ross's son has been locked out of enriching himself off of his father's fame when it's obvious that his father wanted that because Bob Ross's son took over the show and did it for him for a while. But some ugly ass couple, and there's a documentary about this, bought the rights to Bob Ross and everything, and they're absolutely enriching themselves, and there's nothing for his family and his actual family at this point. It's disgusting how vultures and people can be opportunists and do things that are just not right. We know it's not right, but they do it through legality and say, well, this is right. That's why in some ways laws are not just, y'all. I'll say this right now. If a law is not just, it's deserved to be broken. And there may be a lot of laws that are coming out in the near future in the United States that are not just and deserve to be broken. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, I'm with you, CH. And I love this. You're bringing an aspect from the music world, which is something that I really, really love, and adding some slants to it, man. You've been a great addition coming in today, man. Yeah, I hate this. I was kind of aware of this with the Hendrix family, that it was kind of like this. And it's too bad. It's too bad. But you know what? Maybe someday we will get the good stuff from the Hendrix vault and the Prince vault at some point. We will watch. Yeah. Mike's saying Mark Williams. Hang on. Whoa. It flashed out for a second there. That was weird, man. All right. We're on a Mark Williams comment by Mike, I believe is where we're at. And I'm going to try and get done with this, man. Oh, wait. That's not where I'm at.
Okay, I went too far. Okay, maybe I am close to the end here. Let's see. Okay, Mike saying Mark Williams failed the Lakers medical test, so Connect and Reddish are Lakers still, and the Lakers have Hayes and Koloko as center. Laugh out loud. Mike's loving it. Mike's loving it. He's laughing at him. Nago saying I saw one tuber comparing this team to the 2008 Celtics. Which team? Which team? Who's the 2008 Celtics? Which team? Lakers? Our team? Who? Nako, give me the this team. Who's this team? Cool Cat saying the problem early on was not hiring people who loved and understood basketball. For sure. For sure. No, we did. In the beginning, we had those people, John Batove, Isaiah Thomas, but they were pushed out once it was seen. This is really what I've been taught by Raptors Delight and their bullshit. You guys told the whole truth. The veil's been lifted. I can see what happened now. And having been around it and seen it from the inside, I can totally connect the dots at this point. Jean Batove made all the risk, took all the risk as the owner and getting the team landed here. And he had the right passion and he built the team correctly. And he's a huge reason why the Raptors are successful because he designed it and he had the ideas that made it successful that they executed later. Him and Isaiah came in and they were badasses. And, the problem is hockey people, corporate Canada did not believe in the NBA, so they didn't support them. And in fact, they got in their way and made it really hard for them. And some of it was the building, the Air Canada Center. And well, the building was how they strong-armed the beloved people that loved the Raptors, the right people who were running it with the passion, Batove and Isaiah. And they didn't do this until they saw that it was a viable moneymaker. If it had failed, they would have just let it fail and go away. They were cowards, Labatt's and other companies that wouldn't support the Raptors originally. They saw that it was going to be successful and make money, and they wanted in then. And they squeezed out the passionate people corporately with the deal for the building, Steve Stavro and the MLSC group that eventually formed. They pushed them out. And then in some ways, they were only focused on the Leafs. And in some ways, them having control of the Raptors meant that they could subjugate them to being second-class citizens in their own organization and not really care about them, not give them funds to take care of the things they needed to, not give them good personnel, make them an afterthought, put an idiot like Richard Petty in charge. Richard Petty was in charge of the Leafs and the Raptors at the same time. And he wasn't giving the same amount of attention to our team as he was the hockey team. That's just the damn truth. And so that's why right there, we had passionate, great people at the beginning, but they were forced out once the money was good. And the people want to jump in and get on the gravy train after the people who did the work and took the risk were forced out. And that was John Batove Jr., the original owner of the Raptors. And Isaiah Thomas, the president, was the other guy. You forced out guys who knew the NBA, knew what they were fucking doing for fucking jabronis that didn't and said, oh, well, Isaiah thought he knew what he's doing. Richard Petty, you fucking dumbass piece of shit. You don't know basketball better than Isaiah Thomas, you piece of crap. You're a fucking one of the worst people in Raptors history, and I'm going to hate you till the day I die. Is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. All right, there's my cutoff. Thank you, guys. Mischief saying Messiah and Bobby know how to axe the tax. Axe the tax. Yeah, cut off. Cut off. Thank you, guys. Cool Cat. Wow, you guys really went. Richard Dawson here. Survey says, meh. And Mike saying, Kyle Anderson or Wiseman dumb. Ingram money is separate. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Mike knows this more intricately than I do. That all this, and Mike loves this, man, because he's the one who illustrated to me that we are under the luxury tax just barely. And we have a little bit of flexibility. It's awesome. Skinny B, what? And Blackhawk saying, big up, Raptors freaks. Big up to you, Neil. And Nako saying, the team he's comparing it to is the current Toronto Raptors team is being compared to the 2008 Celtics. That's the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen Celtics is who we're getting compared to right now. Wow. That's interesting. So who's who? Is Brandon Kevin Garnett? Paul Pierce is Scotty, and Grady is Ray Allen? I don't know. That's weird. What about RJ and Emmanuel? All right, let's go. Classic card, baby. Yeah, we've been doing pretty good with the classic card lately. Let's see what do we get here. What the fuck is that? Oh, this is going to be hard in a way because I didn't even recognize him on this card. All right, let's see who could get this classic card of the day. The winner, full name answer, please. And the winner will get some trivia points, the Raptor Freak trivia score added on. That's right. Here we go. I might even pull it up close because this one's hard, man. It's a weird one. It's not who you think it is.
It really is a weird one. This is old school. This is not a current player. So don't start answering current players, please. This is a classic one. This is for classic for sure. Let's see if anybody knows here on the tail end of the Raptor Freak stream this morning. You want a hint, Nako? Nah, you younger guys are going to have to wait. I'll give a hint, but I want a couple of guesses first from the old heads if they can see it properly enough. This is crazy. In some ways, I didn't recognize him at first because of a certain thing about him in this picture that is not normal for this player. And if you can figure it out from that hint, from knowing old school, then you can get it. But this is crazy, man. This is kind of crazy. Look at that Phoenix jersey. They haven't had those tricked out ones like that for Phoenix in a long, long time. So this is a player. This card's from the early 90s. So that'll help you kind of with the time. It's in the 90s somehow, somewhere. This is a 90s card. Nobody's going to give me a guess yet. Seriously, do I have to bring it up that close so you can really see him? Now, if I show you his face like that, can you tell who that is now? In some ways, that might be easy enough to figure it out. Because if you know who that is in the picture, that's Thurl Bailey behind him. Thurl Bailey, of course, is one of the announcers for the Utah Jazz. Or he wasn't he? He's been around the Jazz still, Thurl Bailey. Nobody wants to guess this. Y'all going to do this to me again, where we're going to get to this point. We got 11 people left in the stream, and we're like 2.5 hours in. Nobody's going to try and get it. Am I going to have to give Nako the answers? All right, Andrew's got it. He finally got it. It's Xavier McDaniel. That's Xavier McDaniel when he was on the Suns. And the reason why it's hard for you to figure it out is because he looks like he has hair. Normally, he has like a bald head. But in this card, the shadows and stuff don't really show that he's bald. It looks like he has hair on his head. Like maybe he got like tattooed hair on his head like people are doing right now. Or is he actually got hair? It looks like he's got hair there. That's why it's so weird. It's not a normal Xavier McDaniel card. All right, for this being difficult, and I know Andrew's a younger guy, I'm going to give him 200 points for this one. That was a tough one, man. Xavier McDaniel. You didn't even know he played for the Suns. You just knew he played for the Sonics. He played for the Sonics. He played for the Knicks. He played for quite a few teams, actually. He played on quite a few teams. On this card, it's showing that he was already on the Sonics at this point, and then he went to the Suns. So this is the first team he went to after the after the Sonics. But yeah, Xavier McDaniel. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Classic card of the day. 200 points for Andrew on that one. Yeah. All right. Let me go on my rundown real quick on the way out. There are a couple things I still wanted to take care of. Injury report for the Raptors. Just real quick on the rundown, getting out of here. Brandon Ingram's out. Jakob Poeltl's out. RJ Barrett's out. And so I'll speculate the starting lineup will be Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, Scotty Barnes, and Jonathan Mobo starting for us. The Houston Rockets have injuries also. Namely, our guy, Fred. Fred is week to week right now. He's not a game time decision. Somebody said that earlier. You're wrong. He's week to week due to a right ankle strain. So he's not even day to day. He's like week to week, y'all. Cody Zeller's out also, and so is Jabari Smith Jr. So I'm guessing that starting in the place of Fred for them will probably be either Cam Whitmore or Cam Whitmore probably. Actually, it's showing on here that there is changes to their injury report, and Tari Eason is now on the injury report, and so is Steven Adams. So their backup center and their guy Tari Eason are now on there as out for today's game all of a sudden. There's an 80% chance the Rockets will win, according to the ESPN matchup predictor right now. 20% chance the Raptors win. Courtney Kirkland is our crew chief tonight. He will be he's favoring the Rockets. Sean Corbin is the second ref. He is favoring the Rockets. And Matt Boland is the third ref. He is split 50-50 for both teams. 50-50 both teams. Exactly. Let's see. Nothing on ESPN I really want to talk about. Alex Len got signed to the Pacers. I see that. That former Raptor is going to be with Pascal on Indiana all of a sudden. That's maybe the news there. Oh, and the Hawks are going to get Bones Highland off the waiver wire is what that's saying there. Happy birthday to former Raptor John Wallace. Former Nick and Raptor John Wallace is turning 51 today. So happy 51st birthday to a very important Raptor during this time. He was carrying us. He was the leading scorer for our team one year. So happy birthday to former Raptor John Wallace is who we're putting on blast today. Y'all check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club and its shenanigans at the convenience store in the historic region of Toronto. Kensington Variety, such an awesome place. Kensington Market. So yeah, check that out. All right, guys, let me just write this in real quick. We got to make sure I don't forget to put in the classic card who's Xavier McDaniel. And it is Andrew who got it. Andrew returns to the chat and gets a classic card. And he's going to get 200 for it because it was Xavier McDaniel with hair. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak channel today. Our preview. I'll react to the game tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. We'll talk about the Rockets game tomorrow after it happens. All right. I appreciate everybody for watching me. I hope you guys have a fantastic Super Bowl Sunday. And I don't know. I kind of don't want the Eagles to win. And the reason why is because the Raptors are coming to Philadelphia later today. And in some ways, I don't want them traveling into some crazy ass shit. In some ways, it might be better if they show up and the Eagles have lost. As much as I hate the Chiefs dynasty that they built recently, I really don't want either team to win, I guess. I kind of would want the Eagles to win if the Raptors were not traveling there today. I'm totally selfish. I don't give a shit about anything in the NFL. In some ways, I don't care about Kyle Lowry being happy that the Eagles won. I care more about the Raptors safely coming to their hotel later on today after the Super Bowl and being able to be safe and not in the middle of some chaos because there's some celebrating going on or something like that. So in some ways, that's my priority is our team, and it's not the Eagles winning the championship. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join. And once again, the views expressed on this channel do not necessarily reflect the views of the Toronto Raptors franchise or any of the employees or players that play for the team. They're solely of this man right here, the Lexiats, right in front of you. That's right. Yeah, Giannis will miss the All-Star game. Ooh, they're going to have to replace Giannis. This is a blow to Team Chuck. We needed Giannis. Oh, my gosh. This is a blow to Team Chuck. I'm not liking this. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's Raptorize our days and get that good energy out there for the Raptors to beat the Rockets. Y'all need to do all the things you can to win. There's not any room for error in this game. You got to limit your turnovers, make your shots, and really try and score inside better against the Rockets than you did against the Thunder on Friday. You guys got to get inside scoring. I'm sorry. That's the only way we can win. Now, if y'all can run them off the court and tire them the hell out, and that could be a possible way y'all could win by getting them real tired by running up and down the court. Although that kind of style benefits the style of play the Rockets like to play, though. So it's going to be an interesting game plan attack for Darko today on how to handle against them, especially us being undersized still with Jakob out. I hope we see a good dose of Orlando Robinson today. I really, really do. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I appreciate everybody. Love you, Raptor Freak family. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for the reaction. Let's go, Raptors. Let's do something we probably shouldn't do because some people will say we don't want to win right now and we don't look like we should win today. But I'm telling you, guys, right now, the Rockets are on a 6-game losing streak and they're down right now and they're ripe for the picking. And in some ways, we need to capitalize and take advantage of that situation and get another win in our win total today because the Rockets are susceptible right now. That's my scout. It's right now. I'm not saying the Memphis Grizzlies or Oklahoma City Thunder or the New York Knicks were that susceptible this past week, but the Rockets are susceptible right now, and we may need to kick them while they're down. Let's go Raptors and get that big dub tonight. Let's go. Future's so bright. Let's wear our shades, y'all.